Stadium. All precautions are in place as we're going to play a college football game in the era of COVID. They keep expanding the Rock in Boone, and why not with the success that Appalachian State has had. App State, they would normally have a capacity crowd at the Rock today, but an executive order in the state of North Carolina limiting outdoor gatherings to no more than 50 people. So we will have a small crowd today, needless to say, and well, we'll have some parents of the seniors that will be able to take this game in person. Unfortunately, most Appalachian State fans and Charlotte fans as well, they are joining us here on ESPN2 as we welcome you to ESPN's College Football presented by Sling TV. Bob Wischusen alongside Dan Orlovsky. And Dan, this is a different world, obviously, we're living in, but for App State, the success they've had, it's become normalized now as they've made the move from FCS to FBS. And boy, they just keep on winning.
Yeah, I'd say App State is probably one of the better group of 5 teams and programs that America does not know enough about. Only 1 loss last year, and then they're led by a senior quarterback in Zach Thomas. Again, as a quarterback that America does not know enough about, only 3 losses in his career. He burst on the scene a couple years ago against Penn State. He's the unquestioned leader of this football team. Watch today how his teammates rally around him and how tough of a football player he is.
App State won the toss and deferred their option to the second half. So the 49ers of Charlotte will receive the opening kick. And this is a program, the 49ers, Dan, coming off of their best season ever. They went 7-6, the first time they have had an above 500 record since they have made the transition from FCS football to FBS football back in 2013.
Really impressed with the overall talent of the football team. They've got to replace some draft picks. Love their head coach, Will Healy. And I think they're going to present a good challenge today to, again, a very good App State team.
We are underway at the Rock, and it will come out to the 25-yard line for Charlotte. Well, Chris Reynolds, a terrific quarterback in his own right, on the Manning and Maxwell watch lists for a reason. His hometown about an hour north of Charlotte in Mocksville, and he did some different kind of work trying to stay in shape during the pandemic. He just let animals chase him around. He's got 2 brothers, 2 sisters, and his younger brother Jack has also committed to play football at Charlotte. So Reynolds will take over at his own 25-yard line.
I asked their head coach, Will Healy, what's one thing you feel really good about your football team as you head into this season with the unique offseason? He goes, my quarterback's a dude. It tells you everything you need to know.
Play action on first down for Reynolds. He's going to heave a deep one. It's a jump ball underthrown and nearly intercepted. A chance for Shamar Jean-Charles to pick one off. And Larisha Harris, the 3rd member of our broadcast crew, is in Boone.
Yeah, guys, it's an opportunity just to even stand here on the field right before you guys today. And many of the players that I spoke with expressed similar sentiments, expressing their gratitude, rather, for the opportunity just to play. They told me it was difficult not being with teammates 24/7, but the biggest adjustment they had to make was merely being patient with all the rules and regulations of COVID. Despite the many changes, they told me it was business as usual while preparing this week. Their mindset was always football will be played.
And we are all excited each week that football is played, but this time Chris Reynolds will be thrown down right at the line of scrimmage as Trey Cobb came up and got him for a 1-yard loss. Well, Dan, in the era of coronavirus, the team protocols that all of these programs that are able to play college football are living with, testing multiple times throughout the week, health screenings and temperature checks on a daily basis, modified travel, and you do have cloth masks that can be worn over face masks should you so choose.
We're looking at Will Healy, the head coach of Charlotte. Asked him how much football has he done. He said in the last 6 months, he thinks he's done 2 hours of actual football, handling everything going on with COVID.
A blitz off the edge. A three-man rush gets home, but Chris Reynolds is able to somehow escape. Lost the football on his way to the turf. He would have come up a couple of yards shy of the first down if he is ruled down, and the officials, I do believe, are going to say that he was ruled down, so it will be 4th down and 2.
On the field, it's fumble, recovered by Charlotte, 4th down.
And now they're going to say that it was a fumble, but that Charlotte got the recovery anyway. So a 3 and out for the 49ers on their opening possession. Thomas Hennigan back deep to receive the punt of Connor Bowler. And Bowler's going to try to pin one up against the sideline. And that is not a deep kick. This is going to be tremendous field position for Appalachian State. And Dan, as you mentioned in our open, for a tremendous quarterback.
Just huge fan of his game. You know, he's one of those football players that go, you just watch everybody around him. Tremendous kind of impact on everybody that supports him. The receivers are better. The backs are better. Everybody's effort is better. He's probably one of the more tougher quarterbacks that we have in college football. You've seen him get better every single year as a thrower. Outstanding runner with the football as well. Again, unquestioned leader of this football team.
23-3 as a starter during his career. And by the way, one of the 3 games that he lost, he left the game after one series. That was back in 2018. He hurt his head against Georgia Southern, missed the following week as well. So in games where he actually is the quarterback all the way through, about 23-2. And a wide open receiver up the sideline. Thomas Hennigan makes the catch and sidesteps a tackler. And he's inside the 30-yard line, actually marked right down at the 30-yard line of Charlotte. Here's Sean Clark, first regular season game as the Appalachian State head coach. Coached the bowl game last year after Eli Drinkwitz moved on to Missouri. Quarterback keeper and a little flip pass in the flat. Henry Pearson, the tight end, picks up about 8 yards on first down.
It's probably one of their favorite style of plays for this App State offense. It's really a run-pass option. Zach Thomas is going to read the outside linebacker, and if he flows towards that run, he then pulls it and becomes really a two-way option for him after that. He can run it himself, or he can just give that little shoot to the arrow route to that tight end, and if he's uncovered. Really good, just kind of going through that progression of the RPO by Thomas.
And Henry Pearson, a product of Paramus Catholic out of Hohokus, New Jersey.
That's not far from you, right?
That's about 45 minutes or so,
it is
right
far.
down the Parkway. If you asked Henry Pearson what exit, he would have an immediate answer for you, but right now he's nursing that right wrist. So he's going to come off the field, and that's a valuable weapon in this offense with how Appalachian State uses their tight ends.
Yeah, I call them the big W's. Who, what, where, when, and why. I mean, they line their tight end up in so many different places, sometimes next to the quarterback, in a traditional alignment, off the hip of a tackle, sometimes as a fullback, and there's such a zone-based run game where sometimes they tell him a certain person that he has, sometimes it's a certain gap, so the different ways that they go and block. There's a lot on their shoulders, starting with Pearson.
Hand off to Marcus Williams. He's got a first down and more. Mountaineers in the red zone, 1st and 10 at the 11.
This is such a good run. Watch the patience, never cutting unless it's necessary. Just continues to follow that offensive lineman, Hodges. Again, this zone-based run game, those backs just got to trust their vision.
Well, this time he lost his footing at the line on the cutback, barely gets inside the 10-yard line. They marked him out at the 10. So this will be 2nd down and goal, and big shoes for Marcus Williams and the rest of these running backs to fill without Darrington Evans. Sun Belt Offensive Player of the Year last year, became a 3rd-round pick of the Tennessee Titans, but they just keep on churning out 1,000-yard rushers in this offense.
Part of it is the offensive scheme. I mentioned the zone run game before. If you do it well up front, you're going to get a ton of yardage.
Right up the middle, it's Williams. Down to the 1-yard line, where it will be 3rd down and goal.
Going back to the tight end, like that's why this offense is so cool. The right side of that offensive line actually left the defensive end unblocked. They climb up to the linebackers. The tight end comes back across the formation to block the defensive end. It's just all about creating really good angles and leverage for your guys. Beautiful vision by Williams the back.
4 of 5 starters returning on this offensive line this season, and the 5th, Cole Garrison, played a ton last year. Right up the middle, and the ball pops out. Charlotte gets exactly what they need. The 49ers get a takeaway. Tyler Murray recovers the fumble as Williams coughed it up right at the goal line, and it looked like Ben DeLuca may have knocked it free.
Just helmet right on the football. Watch DeLuca from the right side of the screen come in, bop, right there. Outstanding hit by the senior DeLuca. Beautiful job scooping up that football, but how about that hit right on that helmet? Big stop by Charlotte.
The 49ers with a goal line takeaway. Big Forest in their opener at 7:30 Eastern tonight on ABC and the ESPN app, and a different kind of season in college football and certainly in the ACC. No divisions this year. The top 2 teams by win percentage will play for the ACC title on either December 12th or December 19th. And of course, Notre Dame, a part of the ACC this year, eligible to compete for the first time in the title game. We'll see if they get their wish, but ACC football returns tonight, Dan, for the #1 team in America.
I'm excited to watch Clemson play. Obviously, T. Higgins moves on, one of their dynamic receivers. I want to see what their attitude, their mojo is like coming off of that national championship loss.
Charlotte, by the way, is wearing illegal uniforms. I have more on that in a moment as they start at their own 9-yard line. It's only illegal, I guess, if the officials enforce the rule, which they have not, as Trey Harbison muscles his way for 6 yards on first down. We've had 2 fumbles already. This is a big play a moment ago.
It was such a good play by DeLuca, the safety, coming back, missed most of last season. Just did a beautiful job of avoiding the tackle, putting his helmet on the ball. We've got the the turnover can. Is that right? Turnover can, that's where we're at.
Well, he got helped on that hit by Luke Martin, and that combination knocked the ball free. 2nd down and 4 now for Charlotte. Blitz coming. Harbison for a yard. Now, the rule in college football with uniforms is your uniform number has to be a distinctly different color than the jersey color. So if you have a white jersey on, you have to have a dark number on, regardless of the outline of the numbers. You can't wear a gold number on a white jersey and say, it's okay, we've got this black line on the outside of the number. When we zoom in like this, it's obviously easy to see the number 3 that Chris Reynolds is wearing. When you come all the way up to the top of the stadium, on coaches' film in particular, when guys in the press box or when they're breaking down film or trying to identify players, it's very difficult. And there's a 3rd down carry by Harbison, and he is in the clear all the way out close to midfield. It's supposed to be penalized by the officials 15 yards to start each half. It was not, and so the officials not penalizing Charlotte for having on illegal uniforms.
Well, I can see 57 and 76 pulling from the right side of the offensive line. They're both beautiful kick-out blocks. Their numbers actually look like my preferred color of coffee. You know, when I put my creamer in there, that's my preferred color. Like, if I can snapshot that and bring it to Starbucks or Dunkin' and just show them that's what I want it to look like.
Aaron McAllister now in the game at tailback. 1st and 10 for the 49ers.
And look at all this pre-snap motion out of Charlotte's offense. She's trying to confuse as much as they can that App State defense.
Little pop pass to the left flat. And that is caught by Vic Tucker. He picks up 6 on first down. Now, these illegal uniforms barely arrived in time. We were talking with Will Healy, the head coach. He told us that yesterday they got their uniforms in at about 10:30 in the morning. So they had some nice moms willing to donate their time to stitch the uniform names on the back. Literally this morning, they were still putting this together.
Charlotte, no sympathy from me. My sophomore year of college at UConn, our uniforms were made by Aeropostale. Imagine going down to the Orange Bowl, having to play Miami, rocking an Aeropostale jersey. So be thankful that they got here and they're made by Nike.
McAllister empties the backfield. That's a middle screen that got caught in the muck.
See what happened with
Elder,
that?
the intended receiver.
The play is there. Elder is coming underneath. What happened with that was the offensive lineman chased a blitzer. And instead of going downfield, chases the blitzer, and then he gets in the way of Elder. If he had just listen to his rules, don't go after blitzing linebackers and gone downfield, that throw is going to be huge for Elder in this offense.
3rd down and 2. McAllister, he'll barely get back to the line of scrimmage. So now it's 4th down and 2, just across the 50-yard line for Charlotte. Let's see, are they going to be aggressive and go for it? Well, Chris Reynolds, he's going to line them up. Will they snap the football? Or is this a hard count? And they get the penalty that they're looking for. George Blackstock, the nose tackle, jumped off sides. Check that, Jordan Earl jumped off sides.
Offsides. Defense number 99. It's a 5-yard penalty. Result in a Charlotte 1st down.
Listen to the clap. You hear that clap? Did you hear that clap by the quarterback, Reynolds? When you always hear defensive line coaches saying you should be able to play as a defensive lineman with earplugs in because you should only move off the football, never paying attention to what the quarterback is saying. Just that clap by Reynolds, really good job by him, made Earl jump.
Trey Harbison back in the game. He picks up 2 on 1st down. Our first opportunity to say good afternoon to Kevin Connors.
Bob, good afternoon to you. A lot of talk about North Carolina in the ACC. Mac Brown has really improved that roster, and the Heels have jumped on Syracuse. Sam Howell to Garrett Walston. 38 touchdowns for Howell a season ago, 1 this year at 7-0, Bob.
Well, we're still scoreless here. Appalachian State fumbled at the Charlotte goal line and then just committed a penalty on 4th down and 2 to keep the drive alive for the 49ers, now in plus territory. Option pitch. Dick Tucker down the sideline, close to a 1st down.
Really loving what I see out of this Charlotte offense. First of all the pre-snap motion I mentioned. You line up, the defense thinks they got to get ready to play, line up, and then you change it once with the shift, and then again with the motion. Everybody's rules on the defense are changing, especially in the run game. And the second thing is they're taking advantage of some movement out of the App State defensive line with their run game. So many different pullers. They're banking on you slanting as the ball gets snapped, taking you out of position, and then bringing pullers back around to help in their run game. And that play was a beautiful example of Reynolds freezing the linebacker Hampton on the option.
Side-arming one, a tipped ball, incomplete. Tucker had it. Glance off his fingertips. So now it'll be 2nd down and 10. You know, back to the penalty for a moment. When you play Pop Warner football, as I did, and everyone's basically the same size, they generally take the least talented player and put him at defensive tackle.
I like where you're going with this.
I played a significant amount of defensive tackle. And I remember the only thing they told you is watch the football.
Yeah.
Don't listen to the quarterback. If he claps, he can do whatever he wants back there.
Yeah.
When you're the nose tackle, and literally you are staring down at the football, how angry is the coach when you go over the sideline and jump off sides on 4th down? As that slant is low, scooped up by Elder, and it's going to set up 3rd down and 5.
Well, I mean, I love it. You know, I'm sitting here with a smile on my face. Without trying to be disrespectful, we always had this saying, you never give defensive players too much credit, right? And so you take that for what you want, but I think it speaks volumes of the viewpoint of offensive people on defensive guys.
The 11th play of the drive is a quarterback keeper and a 1st down run for Chris Reynolds. Well, this Charlotte drive, after they get the turnover, the takeaway, they're about 5 minutes off the clock on this mark.
See the right side. See that slant on the left side of the defensive line. The right side pulls around, and you basically get hat for hat, guy for guy. So this is a really good job of scouting by Charlotte's offense, anticipating the movement by the App State defensive line and countering with just a perfect run call to make sure they got a guy and a guy. And the right side of that offensive line right now is dominant for Charlotte when they're pulling.
A drive that was allowed to continue when Jordan Earl jumped off sides on 4th down and 2 at midfield. Now it's a 1st down in the red zone. Another handoff. the seas part for Harbison. And Trey Harbison walks into the end zone with the game's first touchdown.
How about this? Watch the left side of the screen. Close, close, close. Patience burst by Harbison. That's outstanding. The transfer from NIU. What patience on that run. Allowing that right side of that offensive line to keep coming down, anticipate the hole, shoot right through it.
Jonathan Cruz hooks the extra point, but gets the bounce off the inside of the left upright. Trey Harbison at 52 yards on that drive and caps it with the touchdown.
Shake, only at Sonic.
The head coach used to be an offensive lineman for these very Mountaineers. Sean Clark, one of a number, Dan, of head coaches in FBS that used to be offensive line coaches as well. What kind of an advantage is it, O-line coach to head coach?
Well, I think to get a really good football team, you got to have guys that are selfless, willing to work hard, do the dirty work, and don't necessarily crave attention or praise. That's really the offensive line. So if you can get yourself a bunch of football players that think like that, you're set up for a lot of success. They've got a really good offensive line at App State. Sean Clark said that they're really SEC players in group of 5 bodies, meaning they're really good technicians. They know how to handle stuff. They're strong enough to get stuff done. They might be an inch or two small to play in some of the Power 5 conferences.
Jalen Virgil will watch this kick from Cruz sail inside the upright for a touchback. There may not be many folks at the stadium. That doesn't mean these players aren't having some fun, especially these 49ers that have the early lead.
Don't forget, you can vote by mail. For more information, visit
Larisha Harris bringing you college football from the Rock, and now back to the offense, Appalachian State. They got to the goal line before Marcus Williams fumbled on their first possession. Play action for Zach Thomas. He's got a hookup turning upfield. Hennigan out near midfield.
Hey, guys, the Charlotte 49ers are definitely keeping the energy going. They do that using the hashtag PEEP, passion, energy, enthusiasm, positivity. I was told that's the cornerstones of the team's culture. It's their life. It will never be lacked, and it definitely runs from the head all the way down because their coach is definitely a pure example of an energetic person.
He certainly is. He was some fun to talk to as Dietrich Harrison burrows his way for about 4 yards. How much fun was it to spend some time on the phone with Will Healy? I mean, we couldn't get him to stop talking.
He could go, man. He could go. But I will say this. You could easily tell and feel the passion and love that he has for college football, for this program, for his players. And anytime you get that, that is such a cool thing to experience as someone who spends time with these coaches.
Harrington reverses course and gets a block. And gets very close to a first down. It looks like he'll be marked down about a half-yard shy.
That is a big peel-back block by their right guard, Hunter. Beautiful cutback by Harrington. They did not get to the second level in that run game, but great vision.
Got a flag down on the play, though.
So they don't get to the second level, cuts back. Now watch 51 come. Yeah. Good job making it legal on that hit, I think.
We'll see. That could have been a blindside block.
Personal foul. Blindside block. Offense number 60. 15 yards from the spot of the foul. Replay, second down.
So it is indeed Noah Hannon, an Outland watch list center. And check that Bear Hunter that gets called for the penalty as he leveled Tyreek Harris.
This is where Charlotte defensively loves to dial up pressure.
Harrington to the sideline for about 5 yards. Caught around the ankles by Tyler Murray.
That is a big-time tackle because that edge was secured up front. Murray decides to try and backdoor it, the transfer from Troy. And if you're going to do that as a backer, you have to have the speed to chase him down. And he did an outstanding job of that to turn. That has a chance to be a 9-10 yard gain to only into 4. Now, if you're App State, you just got to be really smart here. 3rd and 16, you got a little bit of a wet ball. This is when Charlotte's going to make sure they bring some pressure. A quick throw or some form of a screen is the smart play call here early in the first quarter.
Three-man rush. Zach Thomas. He's going to try and run for it. And he will come up at least 5 yards shy. So it's 4th and 5 at midfield with a late flag thrown from the secondary. This is a very important call. Chris Bynum is our referee.
No flag on the play.
So they'll pick the flag up, and now it will be 4th and 5 from midfield for App State.
Anytime you see a body go flying nowadays, you're thinking maybe a cut block, or as a defender, you're not actually allowed to dive at the blocker's knees anymore as well. That could be a penalty on the defense. But I will say this, that Charlotte defense did a really nice job there of staying in coverage, even as Zach Thomas climbs the pocket. Stay in coverage, and once he breaks the line of scrimmage, then go get him. Really good job discipline-wise by their defense.
So it will be at about the 16-yard line that Charlotte will take over after Lyon makes the fair catch. And tomorrow at 10 a.m., Sunday NFL Countdown. The NFL is back. Joe Montana, Brett Favre, Peyton Manning, they share their advice on ending a career elsewhere before Tom Brady's first game as a Buck. The Monday Night Football doubleheader kicks off with a Week 1 back-to-back pair of games as Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers take on Saquon and the Giants at 7. And then we head to Denver for the Titans and Broncos at 10:15. Both games on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. And Dan, I'm not sure if you had the same thought. I was really pleasantly surprised. Now, I know we're talking about two high-level teams, but the Thursday night game, with no offseason really and no preseason games, such a high level of execution from both of those teams.
Yeah, it was really good to see, and obviously Derek King. Are you talking NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs? Oh, yeah. Two well-coached teams run by really good quarterbacks. That was a beauty to see. I was like a kid in a candy store.
Reynolds on a rollout. Lobs one down the sideline, and it's dropped by Tucker. Well, Chris Reynolds, that must have been a wet ball, as there is a flag on the play as well, as that ball came out like a wounded duck, like he never really had a full grip on the football.
I think potentially like offensive pass interference. Seemed like there might have been some blocking downfield while that ball was in the air, because it looked to be some form of a trick play. You're trying to sell quarterback run and then stalk block as a receiver and release downfield.
We have 2 fouls, both against Charlotte. One, illegal man downfield. That penalty be declined. Offensive pass interference. Number 9, that penalty be accepted. Half the distance, replay, first down.
So that'll make it 1st and 20.
I think you got to be very smart right now if you're Charlotte, because as we see this play, so watch Tuck, he's just going to kind of go sell it. Hey, this is quarterback run. That to me looks like a pretty poor call, because it was really more of that defender, that corner engaging and then shucking. So I actually thought that was a good job by Tucker. Don't see offensive pass interference there. What I was saying about the Charlotte offense, there's 3 or 4 balls that you've seen Chris Reynolds struggle to throw. First play of the game, the one in the red zone, and that ball right there. Be very careful calling some passes right now that's longer than 5, 6, 7 yards downfield, because it doesn't seem he's got a great feel for the football.
Half the distance on that penalty, so it's actually 1st and 18. And there's a shot right up the seam for a first down. Oh, the play action fake worked beautifully, and that allowed the slip into the secondary for Cameron Dollar.
Yeah, really good job with the play fake by Reynolds, seeing the linebacker hold, getting the ball out on time. Great job by Dollar getting his head around.
Another play action fake. Reynolds, he's going to throw that one away. Chris Reynolds did not have a Division I offer out of high school. Came to Charlotte as a walk-on, and eventually back in 2018 won the starting job, but then had an ankle injury that ended his season early, and in 2019 Will Healy took over as the head coach, and a transfer from USF, Brett Keane, won the job. He was the backup. Well, didn't take long for him to become the starter. He came in the opening game and they won, and that's it. He's not surrendered the job since. Play clock down to 2. And this is quarterback keeper for Reynolds. Follows his blockers and makes it 3rd down and about 3.5, maybe 4.
He's really just reading numbers there. You want to give that to the tailback, but if that secondary guy is going to add on from his right side, essentially becomes, hey, you go be the blocker and I'll keep it myself and I'll follow you. So again, this is a different version of quarterback reads or quarterback progressions in football nowadays, is also in their run game.
A couple of big 3rd down conversions and a 4th down conversion via penalty on the earlier Charlotte touchdown drive. Under a minute to go in the opening quarter. Now it's 3rd down and 5.
You love your numbers up top. Love your numbers for a quick throw up top.
And there is the throw up top, and it's incomplete. Jamar Jean-Charles jumped that route quickly and knocked it away from McAllister. Now it's 4th down and 5.
This is what I don't like about that play, though. If you wanted to move McAllister out there pre-snap with that motion, get the numbers that you like, and then bring him in motion and leave Dollar, the receiver, out there for that, I love it. But once you bring Dollar, the receiver, in motion, it's now McAllister out there lined up against a corner. Corners will naturally squat more against tailbacks because they don't fear their speed downfield. I just don't like I love the setup. I don't love the people they did it with.
So a corner is going to break on that route much more aggressively as Hennigan calls for the fair catch than he would if it's a wide receiver that could beat him with speed.
For sure, because one, running backs aren't premier route runners. They're not going to push speed vertically and sell a route, where Dollar, the receivers, he's trained to do that. That's why I just don't. I wish they would have flipped the roles of McAllister and Dollar.
Last season, the Charlotte defense was dead last in Conference USA in points allowed. And in the Sun Belt Conference, App State, they were #1 in scoring at nearly 39 per game. And yet it's 7-0 Charlotte. You could see the advantage that the 49ers have in yards gained in the first quarter as well. Straight ahead run. And Peoples bottled up right near the line of scrimmage.
You know, it's interesting. We talked to Charlotte's defensive coordinators, Brandon Cooper and Marcus West, and both of them kept saying how important the middle of that defensive line and kind of the uptick in talent has been, and how impactful it was going to be for their defense. App State can't run the football right now. There's just so much push out of the Charlotte defensive line. Great start in the first quarter for them.
Today, it was wonderful to see the Charlotte 49ers have the opportunity to just connect with their friends and family, being that no fans were able to be in the stand. Excited about that, and that was a helper for them to get pumped and ready for today's game.
Now, this is the era of coronavirus and playing college football, and when your friends and family can't be at the game, you zoom them in your pregame meeting with your team, and they have a chance to at least see their families' faces before they take the field for their opener, as Cam Peoples finds a lane to the sideline and starts off the second quarter with a big run for Appalachian State.
just enough push on the right side of that offensive line to allow Peoples to run away from that defensive lineman side from Charlotte, because he's in that backfield, but just enough push to allow him to get that edge. That's something I think App State needs to do more than they did in the first quarter. Get some push, some dent into that defensive line by their zone scheme.
Another cutback up the middle for Peoples. And now the Appalachian State ground game is starting to get some rhythm. You can see they're changing the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of that denting that defensive line. Just starting to get a push here or a push here, because then that gets the defenders on different levels. That's what creates creases and allows backs to put a foot in the ground and make a cut.
And last year, the Mountaineers were 16th in America, averaging just over 231 yards rushing per game. Picked up 5 on first down. Another cutback. And Peoples picks up another first down inside the 39-yard line as he's knocked out of bounds at about the 38 of the 49ers.
So early on in this game, Charlotte backdoored, meaning they shot some of the gaps backside with linebackers and they made the play. The past 2 plays, we've seen a defensive lineman or a backer do the same thing, but what doesn't allow them to make that tackle in the backfield is the push front side in the run. As long as they're getting pushed front side, they'll dare those backside defenders to shoot the gap.
11 runs on 14 plays. Here's a throw. One-on-one down the sideline. And Christian Wells was absolutely blanketed. Nowhere for Zach Thomas to fit that one in, as DeFee's Lions step for step in coverage.
This is what I would like to see out of that throw by Zach Thomas. So that was the slot receiver, meaning the guy closest to him. The outside receiver ran like a 3-yard short little hook route. You have the whole field to throw that receiver Wells to. You don't have to throw him downfield or make a perfect throw. There's a ton of sideline. You can make a bad throw and stop him. Just making an easier throw for him to adjust to and use all of that space to the sideline on.
Throw the receiver open, so to speak.
Yeah, drift him there.
That's his first incompletion. This is a perfect timing route to Malik Williams. Another first down.
If they're going to get that soft coverage right there, that's an easy throw. You just run that outside corner off. As long as you're throwing a catchable ball out there, because that outside linebacker that's playing in between, he's got to protect run for at least a second. And that's just an easy throw for Zach Thomas.
Peoples up the middle. 9 yards on first down, as the Mountaineers are in the red zone looking for the equalizer.
I'm liking the way Peoples is running. No hesitation. He's just getting this football, trusting what the vision tells him to do, and going north and south. That's what you love in a zone scheme back. Don't dance. Go.
Peoples, a long strider, and strides his way into the end zone for the App State touchdown.
Watch the block by 60 Hannon right here, okay? Watch the play start to the right, and just watch how he peels back. Peel back right there on that linebacker trying to shoot that gap. That's such a good job by that center. Have vision, lead front side, keep one eye on that backside defender. And when he shoots, all you got to do is get in his way, gives that crease for Peoples. That is an outstanding job by that offensive line for App State.
Well, Cameron Peoples last season tore his ACL in the opener. I think they're happy to have him back this year. Only 50 folks are allowed to be in the stadium to watch this game in person at the Rock. But that doesn't mean fans of Appalachian State and Charlotte aren't watching from all through the state of North Carolina. And when Charlotte scored their touchdown, plenty of 49er fans celebrated. Check back in on the watch parties as we go through the afternoon as the rain continues to fall in Boone.
Charlotte fans got some juice. It's good stuff. That's why I said this year you just got to figure out ways to continue to be a fan, right? Just find different ways, create your own little fan bubbles. That's awesome to see.
Riker Casey to kick it off. And this one, it looks like, is returnable. It'll be brought out by Calvin Champ. So the 49ers now in a 7-7 tie go back to the offense. And we'll have the U.S. Open Women's Championship match today at 4 Eastern on ESPN. Naomi Osaka, the champ from 2018, takes on a two-time finalist in Victoria Azarenka after thrilling semifinals. You can always watch it live on the ESPN app if you're on the go this weekend. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, Marisha Harris. We saw a couple of fumbles on the first two possessions for these two teams. Ball security's been solid since, though, in the rain.
Especially on that kickoff return, you saw that cross cup by the returner. That's good stuff.
Trey Harbison met after a gain of only a yard by Demetrius Taylor.
You know, as a quarterback, when you're dealing with rain right now, you're constantly focused on reminding guys, cover up the football. If it slows you down because you're covering it with two hands, so be it. This isn't something where you can kind of be lackadaisical with it. The second thing is you're trying to make sure that your equipment staff will get a right guard, your center, and a left guard a towel, because you're figuring out some kind of way to keep your hands dry. As you're seeing that ball is going to get saturated quick. You want as many guys in your offensive line to have a towel for you to get access to as possible.
Harbison up the middle to the 31-yard line. Pulled down by T.D. Roof. His father, Ted, now the defensive coordinator at Vandy, brings up third down.
When they've had success running the ball on third down or converting third downs, it's been the run. I'd expect some form of run game from Charlotte.
And they're going to go quick on 3rd down and 4. Now you get the look over from Chris Reynolds. And the defense for Appalachian State looks over it as well. Will they adjust?
You really want to try to find a way to put that guy in a bind right there. Can you kind of put him in a bind, quick throw, run game?
Try to bounce outside as Reynolds reaches the ball out on the leap, but they're going to mark him short of the 1st down.
I saw it the same way. That's the guy, Trey Cobb, that in-between defender. You want to kind of put him in, quote-unquote, conflict or the decision maker. I love the play call. He just does a really good job of, with his discipline, sinking down at the run and getting outside. My only question would be, could you have made one of those receivers be a crack blocker to him, come down and just get in his way to give the quarterback the edge?
Connor Bowler launches one to Hennigan, who gets pinned up against the sideline. That's well-executed special teams by Charlotte to try and change field position.
In that, particularly when it comes to the social and racial justice fight, in search of that, the team, they have a unity group, a 12-man mixture ranging from freshman all the way to senior, equal parts of the team. That was established back in March, and this group has been the primary go-to for knowing how to handle certain situations or having conversations to educate all of the players, teammates, coaches, etc. One thing that they did, though, that the unity group established was having a peaceful protest against racial injustice throughout the town of Boone and through the university campus. And the sign that was held up and pushed in the forefront was "End Injustice Together." That has been something that they have captured and taken in together. End injustice together.
That's Larisha Harris. I'm Bob Wischusen here with Dan Orlovsky. And Dan, we talked about this last week, and certainly talking with the coaching staffs of Charlotte and App State this week. The theme seems to be that the players in these programs, they don't just want a unity walk. They don't just want to wear a helmet sticker. They want their programs to really commit to real change and try and be a part of that real change.
Yeah, I think it starts from the institutions and then their head coaches. You could tell how much their head coaches love their players. You know, Will Healy, the Charlotte head coach, had a great quote. I wrote it down. He said, "I've got to care enough to let them know that I love them. I got to be real and honest with them." Excuse me, it was I have to love them enough to care about the things that are important to them. And it was just a quote out of him that really just stuck with me. I don't think that's something that's fake and phony. He's real, he's passionate, and it was really awesome to kind of hear him talk about the growth of his football team when it comes to the maturity and the leadership, the manhood of them off the field.
Appalachian State trying to avoid a 3-and-out. Play clock down to 5. 4-man rush. Zach Thomas out of the pocket, and this play is blown dead. Now, those electronic whistles in the age of coronavirus sometimes aren't the easiest thing to hear. That's what the officials are using. And it looks like this is going to be a false start, more procedure against App State.
False start. Offense, number 70, 5-yard penalty. Replay, 3rd down.
You know why this is obviously a penalty is not great. You lose 5 yards, but this is even more of a big deal for a Charlotte defense that wants to continue to run in multiple defensive linemen. They can now get fresh defensive linemen on the field where the no huddle going into 3rd down, there's going to be some tired rushers. So you got to be very smart right here if you're the quarterback, Zach Thomas, when dealing with the rush.
Well, it's only a 3-man rush, so he's well protected. Right at the 1st down marker, turning upfield and picking up the 1st down is Malik Williams. Or check that, pardon me, Jalen Virgil.
Guys, I also want to mention, too, what the Charlotte 49ers have been doing when it comes to educating themselves and also in the search for social and racial justice. I spoke with the quarterback for Charlotte 49ers, Chris Reynolds, and he told me that he has been in the forefront of this as well, being the team leader. He made it a personal goal to call teammates and also have face-to-face conversations. They have Zoom calls that take place for education. They've had people come in to speak to them, such as Matt Rule, Inky Johnson, just to name a few. But one of the most important calls I think they had was one with the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department and the district attorney. They were even able to bring in other athletes and other parts of the athletic department to participate in that call. And it's something that's continuing to go on.
Not only, like, I love that because, you know, when you're a quarterback, it's often like, oh, I'm the leader. And some guys will go and just abuse that power. Some guys will think just being the quarterback is enough. But to hear the fact that Reynolds, like, cares about his teammates as people more than just guys that can help him play football, I think is a perfect example of why sports are so great and why football locker rooms are, like, such a special kind of space to be fortunate enough to be a part of.
Marcus Williams picks up a yard, and the same true of Will Healy. You know, speaking with the Charlotte head coach, and look, you have to take our word for it. We were talking to him. You as the audience were not. He loves his players.
Oh, there's no question.
He cares deeply about all the young men that are on his team.
Yeah, there's no question. And he doesn't shy away from it. And he also doesn't shy away with being honest and going, there's some stuff that I don't know. And my players, I need to allow them to talk to me and learn from them.
Zach Thomas off his back foot throws one to the sideline. Underthrows Hennigan. Hennigan trying to work his way back to the football on DeFee's Lion. And he may have earned a pass interference flag. Unless it's an offensive push-off, which is what DeFee's Lion believes. Hennigan was happy when the flag initially came out. He might not be happy with this announcement.
Pass interference. Defense, number 8. 15-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
So it was indeed on DeFee's Lion.
Some good jawing back and forth between those guys. My guess is Hennigan got up and said, you can't cover me, and then made sure to turn to the Charlotte sideline and said there's no way that he can cover me. So, listen, Lion has started this game off really well, and he's fighting. They're going to continue to try to get the ball to Hennigan, but Lion has just got to continue to trust his technique.
Little shoulder fake from Zach Thomas, and he had a man open up the sideline. Once again, it was Jalen Virgil, but they could not connect. Let's check in with Kevin.
All right, Bob, studio update takes us to Ames to get a look at today's Capital One rewarding performance. Kind of quiet optimism around this Iowa State team. A lot of tight losses a season ago. Tight score in Louisiana. So Keen Wongwu barrels in from a yard out. 7-0 Cyclones on top.
I have a feeling we may be going back to that game in short order for a scoring update. As here's another handoff right up the gut to Marcus Williams, and he picks up 3. Didn't take long for Louisiana to get the equalizer. There's another flag down. And players have to be separated after the play is over as well.
I think we're going to get a late hit on the defensive lineman for Charlotte Sy. Transfer from Vandy. Emotional.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense after play number 57. That's his first unsportsmanlike conduct. Half the distance, automatic first down.
So Saya Sato picks up the unsportsmanlike conduct flag. And in a 7-7 tie, 6 minutes to go before halftime, that is going to put Appalachian State in the red zone.
Interesting, though, for a program that Will Healy leads at Charlotte, it's constantly about positive, positive, positive. The penalty happens, and the sideline cheering him up, like encouraging him. Head coach is doing that. Usually it's the opposite, so I actually like seeing that out of that program.
49ers show blitz. Marcus Williams runs right through it for 9 more yards. And it'll be 2nd down and 1 inside the 10.
We talked about this a little bit last week with Memphis's run game. If you are, as a defense, going to blitz people, that means where the guys are aligned pre-snap, they are going to move because, again, people are coming, so you're changing the gaps. As an offense, if you know that and you shut one of those movements down, one of those looping defensive linemen down, again, the gap is going to grow because a guy is leaving that gap. That's what you're seeing right now with the zone run game out of App State. Movement by the D-line and picking open gaps.
Little zone read, and on the keeper, it's Zach Thomas. Just about gets to the goal line. And it looks like he'll be marked down at the 1, where it will be 1st and goal for the Mountaineers.
DeLuca just got his eyes in the wrong place. Sunk down, that safety sunk down too much following the tailback. I'd expect this ball to get pounded right down the middle of this offensive line behind the 3 seniors.
At the goal line and into the end zone goes Williams for the touchdown. A 10-play, 79-yard touchdown drive for Appalachian State.
It's power football. Great cut, White. Great cut. Beautiful job of feeling that safety coming downhill. Williams with the jump cut, and don't waste time. Get downhill. That was, again, 2nd drive we've seen out of this App State offense that is based upon run game, denting that defense, that line of scrimmage, and allowing those backs to run with vision. If they're going to continue to do that, it's going to be a big second half for this offense.
Responsibly.
They have some fun with this Charlotte football program. You're getting a look inside Club Lit, and that is the head coach. And it's really the leader of Club Lit, Will Healy. They have a post-game 70s-style Studio 54 dance party inside the Charlotte locker room after each and every win. Not only is Will Healy crowd surfed, put on the mascot head, and had a lot of fun. When they went to the Bahamas Bowl last year, he came into Club Lit wearing cabana clothes and a snorkel.
Kind of sounds like a legend.
I mean, look, I get it's probably going to ruffle the feathers of some of the traditionalists, but wouldn't you want to play for a guy like this? Wouldn't you want to be on a team like this and in that atmosphere? How much fun does it look like it is to be in that locker room after a win?
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I would want to go and play for a coach like that. I mean, football at the end of the day is supposed to be a ton of fun. Now listen, it is a ton of work and sacrifice, and there's difficulty tied to it. But it should be fun. And when you have a head coach that can kind of demand the best out of you, but know when to celebrate you as well. I had a head coach in the NFL, Jim Caldwell, that was like that. He was a big proprietor, a believer in, like, you better celebrate your successes because no one else is going to. And so I love when a coach allows his guys to be themselves, to celebrate the hard work that turns into success. It's a huge recruiting tool as well.
Into the line. Nice stop and start for Harbison. And he's all the way out near midfield before he's finally cut down. And there is the head coach, Will Healy, hopping down the sideline as he loved that run from the grad transfer from Northern Illinois, Trey Harbison.
And I think part of it, too, is this program is 7 years old. And so to try and build something up, you've got to bring a lot of energy and joy and excitement to maybe get a guy to want to go there that years ago didn't even know Charlotte had football. And so it's a 24/7, 365 thing. Not only be good at X's and O's, but personality. And I think we're starting to see that at Charlotte from Will Healy.
A couple of yards on second down for Harbison. Trey Cobb came up to make the stop, the second leading returning tackler for Appalachian State. Well, last year, Cobb and DeMarco Jackson, they played for one another and substituted out at the inside linebacker positions on this defense. This year, they're good friends. They're playing alongside each other.
And that helps, though. You know, understanding what each other is good at, what the flaw is, the communication, knowing what you're going through. There's a big kind of non-verbal connection that you have when you've experienced that.
Play action for Reynolds. Well protected. To the sideline. Wide open. Inside the 30-yard line. Down the sideline is Taylor Thompson, the true freshman tight end. And just like that, it's a goal-to-go situation for the 49ers.
What does running the football do? One, it gets numbers down towards the line of scrimmage, opens up your run game. Two, you can fake the run with everybody's attention in the backfield and create bigger chunks in the pass game. And then three, it also forces a defensive line to play a little bit hesitant. You saw that pocket back there? I mean, he had all day to throw. That's why running the football is still a big part of the game, no matter how much people love throwing it, myself included.
That's George Blackstock, the junior nose tackle, being helped off the field. So we'll take an injury timeout.
And where the big play is going to come from at Clemson. Jim Mora joins us when you join us at the half. Bob?
All right, Kevin, thanks very much. And what will the score be at the half? As Charlotte looking for the equalizer here against Appalachian State. They've got 66 yards on this drive alone. Their previous two possessions only produced 25 yards. So the big play a moment ago, Chris Reynolds to the true freshman tight end Taylor Thompson makes it 1st and goal at the 10. Play action. Reynolds rolling out. Sidearms one. And trying to scoop it off the top of the turf was Aaron McAllister. And are they going to give him that catch for a gain down inside the 5-yard line? It looks like they will say this catch is a clean one for 7 yards. And that's an incomplete pass. Looks like, right?
I mean, the ball moves, yeah. The ground helps him make that catch. Touches the ground, helps him make that catch.
Well, that's interesting. The ball is allowed to touch the ground if, in the official's determination, you have complete control of the football. If you pin it to your hip, would you say that
if it doesn't
meets the
move,
definition of complete control?
I would say if the ground does not help me make the catch and the ball does not move, then it's complete control. But once that ball hits the ground and then moves,
under review.
Then that's an incomplete pass.
Now, here's something significant as well. They have changed the call, as you could probably hear from the referee, to an incomplete pass. So because now the precedent set on the field is an incomplete pass, there has to be indisputable evidence to show that it was a completion. And from a play calling perspective, this is big. I mean, having a 2nd down inside the 5 as opposed to 2nd down from back at the 10-yard line. As we get another look, this has now been ruled incomplete on the field. Does the ball touch the ground when he does not have control of it? And will replay say that he has control of the football when he pins it to his side?
I don't think that's a catch. I think the ball touches the ground, moves as he's moving it to his hip to secure it.
I would agree.
And this is confirm or overturn, right? This replay rule, so they have to, this video either has to be, show them that they want to overturn this decision, calling it incomplete on the field. And as a play caller, you're right now having both conversations. It's either 2nd and 10 or first or 2nd and 6.
The ruling on the field has been confirmed as an incomplete pass. Please set the game clock to 2:54.
And I think we both agree they got it right, so they'll move it back to the 10-yard line. And give credit as well to the 49ers. They came into this game as a 3-score underdog, and they have basically gone toe-to-toe with Appalachian State on the road here in the first half. Appalachian State 207 total yards, and the 49ers 193 yards. It'll be 3rd down and goal now. As the zone read that time, the option was diagnosed quickly by Appalachian State. Maybe a half yard.
App State should be calling timeout right now. I mean, 3rd and goal. I want to call a timeout and save myself a bunch of time at the back end of this first half. And now if you're Charlotte on offense, do you trust your quarterback, Chris Reynolds, to call an aggressive play call right here, to try to get in the end zone before the half? Do you have enough trust in him? This is where, okay, where's my best receiver? Number 9, Victor Tucker. He's going to be at the top of the screen. You put in something to allow him to be the number 1 option. If it's not there, throw it away.
Play clock down to 2. Down to 1. Will they get the snap off? They do. Quarterback draw. Reynolds caught from behind and dragged down at the 6-yard line by Nick Hampton. So he picks up 3, 4th down and goal. And now you absolutely should call a timeout if you're Appalachian State. And it looks like Appalachian State has indeed called timeout with 1:57 to go. So it will be Jonathan Cruz to come out and attempt what amounts to a chip shot field goal to try and cut the lead down to 4. That's good red zone stop, though, by the Mountaineers.
No, after the big chunk pass play, you feel good that your defense buckled down and forced this field goal attempt. And also, you feel good if you're Charlotte offensively. The number 1 goal, get points. Any kind of points before the half. And so both coaches, obviously there's still time left in this half when App State gets the ball, but both coaches, as the game sits right now, post that possession, have to feel good. I would have called a timeout after 2nd down if I was App State. I mean, it's 3rd and goal from the 10-yard line, and you haven't done anything in the pass game for me, so I would have saved myself another 40 seconds.
Well, as you can see, Sean Clark's team's done a good job of overcoming some first-quarter mistakes as well. Fumble at the goal line on your opening possession. The first score of the game, Charlotte got the opening touchdown. Well, what was the biggest play of that drive? Jordan Earl, a nose tackle, jumps off sides on 4th down and a couple of yards to keep the drive alive. Now the Mountaineers have scored twice in this quarter, and they'll have at least a 4-point lead when they get the ball back, you would think.
And don't forget, Cruz on the extra point tugged it left, hit off that left upright, so still a big kick to focus on.
Always a tough angle as well, the closer you get with the college hash marks. 23 yards, but this one no problem for the junior Jonathan Cruz. We have a busy day today. It will roll right into tomorrow night, and it'll roll right into Monday night as well. Now playing this weekend and Monday on ESPN. The U.S. Open women's final and the men's final tomorrow at 4 Eastern as well after the women play today. Then tonight at 7:30 over on ABC, number 1 Clemson, Trevor Lawrence back on the field to take on Wake Forest. Rockets, Lakers, Game 5 on ESPN at 8. That's later on tonight, and then we move to Monday night. We've got our annual Monday Night Football weekend kickoff doubleheader. Steelers, Giants, Titans, Broncos all played now, tonight, and this weekend, and then Monday night on ESPN.
That's a good spread right there.
Some big-time events.
It's a comforting feeling for a person who's a sport junkie and a jock. It's a comforting feeling to have sports.
Jonathan Cruz will put this one through the back of the end zone. How about the rest of today? We've got a terrific Saturday slate of college football for you as the ACC kicks off. The SEC not far away. Georgia Tech, Florida State coming up at 3:30 Eastern on ABC. And then later on tonight, no player, we talked about it all throughout the offseason and today as well, had more of an impact individually and rallying the troops to get some college football play than Trevor Lawrence did at Clemson, and his #1 ranked Tigers play tonight.
Yeah, and two best players in the conference, right, with ETN as a tailback. I mean, I'm so excited to watch those guys play. It's a huge game. I'm also excited to watch James Blackman, the quarterback at Florida State, who's up and down, some opportunities, some not so much success at Florida State. Mike Norvell, the new head coach. Excited to watch him get an opportunity in an offense that seems to be a lot of fun for the quarterback to play in.
So Zach Thomas back to work. He's got Marcus Williams lined up in the pistol, and now a timeout will be called on defense.
Timeout
by Charlotte.
They're first.
Now, again, I mentioned this at the start of the game, and the Charlotte folks have said that these uniforms that they're wearing have been approved. They may have been approved. They are, by rule book definition, not legal uniforms. The rule book definition is the number has to be a distinctly contrasting color from the base of the jersey, irrespective of any border on the outside. If you've got a gold number on a white jersey for press box viewing and for opposing coaches trying to break down game film, you just can't tell what the numbers are of the players on the field. If this were to be officiated by the referees, they should have been penalized 15 yards at the start of each half after the kickoff, and also at the start of each quarter you're supposed to lose a timeout. So
that's heavy.
If they had lost a timeout at the start of the first and start of the second quarter, they'd only be down to 1 timeout right now. But with their 3 timeouts, who knows? They might be able to get the ball back, although they just called one with the clock stopped. Trying to bounce it outside is Thomas. And he'll get nothing. And he lays down in the field of play to keep the clock rolling. So is this Appalachian State trying to run out the clock to end the first half? It looked like Zach Thomas, that's a curious decision.
Interesting play call there, especially with the senior at quarterback, but great effort by Lyon to make sure that he kept Zach Thomas in bounds.
And now they'll hand it off on second down to Williams. And Williams, he picks up the first down. And that will stop the clock as he is able to get out across the 40-yard line.
So they have to know offensively, and Zach Thomas and their play caller, Tony Peterson, have to know we got to get to about the opposite 35-yard line, right? So can we, at a minimum, get another 35 yards or so in a minute and 22 seconds? That's the goal number 1 with your play calling to where to get to.
Wide receiver hitch, nowhere to go for Malik Williams. That was jumped almost immediately. Tyler Murray and Nafis Lyon were both there to combine on the stop.
And that's a bad play by Williams. In that situation, your receivers have to know getting out of bounds is more important than getting another yard or 2. Time is of the essence here.
Check down to Marcus Williams. Not much there. And we'll see if Appalachian State calls a timeout here as the clock is winding down. Charlotte might even think about using a timeout with 3rd down forced, but neither team is calling a timeout. It looks like the Mountaineers are content to maybe let the clock run.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine it's somewhat a conservative play call here because you're not pressing the tempo and you seem okay going into the half.
Oh, they're going to go hurry up. And they will pick up a first down to Malik Williams. Well, they still have 2 timeouts, but now only 24 seconds on the clock.
Good conservative play call, though. It was a one-man route. The outside receiver cleared the corner off. You have the outbreaking route. Zach Thomas would be a 1 progression to check down to the back. So now, again, you've got 2 timeouts, and you need about another 7 or 8 yards for a field goal attempt.
4-man rush. Thomas. Nice wall off to make the catch by Jalen Virgil.
Pop a timeout.
And that's at the 32-yard line. The clock will stop at least for the moment. If they grant them a first down, it looks like they have. Now they're going to come up and spike it with 15 seconds to go, still with 2 timeouts to use.
Couple things on that last play. First of all, really nice job by Thomas hanging in the pocket. Second of all, really well done by Virgil of coming back to the football. You saw the corner get on his back and drive to it. Just keep your body in between that defensive back and quarterback. Great job of getting to the line of scrimmage, spiking that ball on first down, knowing that you have 2 timeouts. everything's on board. You could take a shot at the end zone right here. You got to be really smart if you're a quarterback. Don't force it. You could take a shot at the end zone. Just make sure the ball comes out of your hand.
That's going to fall incomplete in the end zone as Jalen Virgil was a step behind Nafis Lyon. Lyon was looking for offensive pass interference. Well, still the full playbook is at your disposal with 10 seconds to go because you've got 2 timeouts.
The only thing is you have to make sure your players know if they catch this ball before the down marker, you call timeout super fast. You don't want to waste time running around trying to gain an extra yard and the clock runs out. Got to be very smart with your play call here. You're in field goal range already.
Charlotte may be calling a timeout on defense. They will. A kind of curious clock management by both teams during this drive, with Zach Thomas starting the drive with a slide before getting out of bounds, then continuing hurry up, and there's a good chance that Appalachian State's going to end the first half with at least 1 timeout in their pocket still.
Yeah, if I'm the play caller, Tony Peterson, right now for App State, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Hennigan to the field by himself. And I'm going to tell Zach Thomas he's going to run a go route. If it's one-on-one, that ball's getting thrown. But it has to get into the end zone. I don't want him to catch this ball on the 2-yard line and get held up and clock runs out, right? If you see 2-on-1, safety goes over the top or they double team him, let's throw a little quick bubble route or something back to the boundary, make sure those guys get down, we get another 5 or 6 yards, and kick the field goal, right? And so there's a way you can manage this clock the right way. We have a chance for a touchdown, or you get a positive play, timeout, and a field goal attempt to end this first half.
But the goal here, one way or another, is making sure that you give yourself the best chance to get some points before halftime with this play.
Worst case scenario, this play ends with 1 second on the clock. That's the worst case scenario.
Marcus Williams is the tailback to Zach Thomas's right. It'll be a 4-man rush. Thomas, there's the shot towards the pylon, underthrown a bit, flag out. Did Thomas Hennigan earn pass interference? And now this becomes a very interesting decision as Lance McMillan looks like he got called in the end zone for pass interference.
So I love the play call. That's exactly what I would have done. 2, it's a good penalty by McMillan. It's a good penalty. This becomes a very interesting call for both sides. I'll get into it after this official because this is really next level thinking coach-wise.
Pass interference. Defense, number 4, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
It's a good job by Hennigan. Push, push, push vertical, track the ball, and fight back for it. That's an outstanding job of fighting back for the football and making it an obvious call, right? Put your foot in the ground and go fight for it, and that draws the call on Lance McMillan, the sophomore. Really good job by Hennigan, that senior. So now this should be a kick if you're App State,
there's only 3 seconds to go.
And if you're Charlotte and they do line up on offense, you tell everybody in your secondary, hold. Clock's going to run out. Another defensive penalty. You still then force them to make a decision. App State, am I going to kick the field goal or try to run an offensive play? This should be a field goal attempt.
And with 3 seconds on the clock and Appalachian State used one of their timeouts, they will send Chandler Staten out to try from 34 yards. And it's blocked. Charlotte's going to get the stop before halftime. And they will end the half with a blocked field goal and only a 4-point lead for the Mountaineers.
Watch in the middle, right in the middle. Get their right paw up. Who is it? I can't see the number. Is it 57?
And tough to tell in the middle of that scrum who was able to deflect the kick. But Appalachian State will start the second half with the football in a 4-point lead. Kevin Connors and Jim Mora. All the highlights and scores in the halftime report. A rainy day, but a fun football game as we're back. It's ESPN College Football presented by Sling TV. Just about set for the start of the second half. At the Rock, 14-10. Appalachian State has the lead over Charlotte. Bob Wischusen Dan Orlovsky, Larisha Harris, we are your broadcast crew, and this has been a game that I'm not sure many of us expected for Charlotte to go toe-to-toe, especially at the line of scrimmage the way they have with App State.
Now, they've ran the ball really well. They've been physical. I would say both teams kind of ran the football well and did what they wanted to do. In this second half, one of them is going to have to take the chance to push the football downfield, try to create a big play in the pass game. That'll go a long way to determining who wins this afternoon.
Now, this is a game where you're talking about an Appalachian State group that was a heavy favorite, but in the first half, they were able to only outgain Charlotte by about 53 yards.
And that came from, two big passes near the end of that first half. Charlotte makes that huge blocked kick to keep this a 4-point ball game. If you're Charlotte, look at the juice on their sidelines. Right now, you feel great that you're in this position. App State gets the ball first. I expect a heavy dose of the run game and see if they can once again methodically go down the field.
Second half is underway. And once again, Jonathan Cruz will put one too deep for Jalen Virgil to attempt a run back. As we take a look at the offensive line for Appalachian State, our pocket protection brought to you by Nationwide.
Watch him go horizontal here, and then keep your eyes on 60, the center hand, and put his foot in the ground and get that peel back blocker. That's outstanding by that offensive lineman. Physical run by Peoples, and then watch those two defenders. Too many eyes in the backfield. Zach Thomas patient, and then he's able to get the edge, almost get into the end zone. They finish it the next play. But two very effective plays for this offense utilizing the run game.
Appalachian State started to grind this game out on the ground in the second quarter specifically. They've only thrown for 109 yards. Zach Thomas has been able to manage this game more than he's had to go win it. 9 of 12 in the first half in the diamond formation to begin the second half. Flags are thrown just as the play is snapped. So this will be a false start.
False start. Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Right up the middle goes Daytrick Harrington. It'll be second down and long. Let's check in with Larisha.
So I spoke with both of the head coaches, and when I was talking to head coach Clark, he told me that he just wanted to reiterate to his guys execution. That was what he said in order to get them going in the second quarter. He wanted to emphasize that it doesn't matter the weather. You need to get the job done. Also, when talking to Coach Healy, he said it was a little weird, but his guys have been handling everything well. Good energy on the sidelines. He felt his guys were a little sloppy on both sides to begin with. They needed to tackle better, but he also told me that in the locker room, he emphasized the middle 8. He thought they did a good job with that block ending the first half, but now he said it's going to be important for them to do that starting off in this second half of the game.
Well, his defense going to try to get a third down stop now. Third down and 10 for Appalachian State.
Five rushes on the field for Charlotte's defense, trying to get all one-on-one matchups.
They'll bring only 3. Thomas out of the pocket, wobbly ball incomplete. So it will be a 3-and-out to start the second half for the Mountaineers.
Brought a nice mix of pressure. They put 5 guys up in the line of scrimmage. They dropped the defensive tackle, went soft zone. Zach Thomas kind of moves out of the pocket unnecessarily, and that leads to kind of an incompletion, an uncomfortable type of throw. Not throwing the ball right now well if you're Zach Thomas. Obviously the weather seems to have an impact on the spiral coming out of his hands.
Yeah, both of those throws. A wobbly ball on third down, but he sailed it over his receiver's head on second down.
It's abnormal for him. He's usually a very good thrower of the ball.
Nick Tucker going to try and work a return. Gets to the sideline. Across the 40. Hit from behind and held onto the football with a flag down. If the play stands, he's all the way out near midfield. But we'll have to check the penalty marker.
Illegal block in the back. Return team, number 4. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Little Beach, first down.
I want to talk about Extra Yard for Teachers Week, which is an annual effort led by the College Football Playoff Foundation to bring college football together to support and celebrate teachers across the country. I spoke with Caleb Dawson, who is a sophomore for Appalachian State, and he told me, that education, physical education and exercise science was an area of emphasis for him because his parents are principals, and that has always been an interest for him, teaching and coaching. He had that conversation where he sat down to talk about the direction of his life. I'm sure we've all had that sort of conversation. And he saw the impact that those figures, teachers and principals, make on students. And that was one of the reasons why he wanted to get into this particular area.
It's just a great story, and it's a week that all of us can think back on a teacher or teachers in our lives that have made that kind of an impact, I think. There's the quick slant, and getting a step is Tucker. That's an easy pitch and catch first down for Charlotte.
Really good play design. You shift, you get the defense to adjust, you motion, you bring somebody from the backside defensively, you do that RPO, the safety jumps up, you wrap the receiver right behind him to replace. Beautiful design.
Pardon me, that's Rico Arnold that made the catch, and now a gain of only a yard on first down for Trey Harbison, so it'll be second down and 9.
I'd like to see Charlotte get Reynolds on the edge a little bit in the run game. I think App State feels really good about kind of the interior of their defense and handling some of this run. I'd like to see Reynolds become more of a weapon carrying the football outside of the edges.
Two tight ends on second down and 9. And getting blown up in the backfield is Trey Harbison. Demetrius Taylor, untouched, tackle for loss.
I'd imagine that's on the quarterback because they've got the tight end coming back from the other side as a lead blocker in some form of a horizontal zone read. And Taylor made that so obvious that that should have been a pull. And then you got the kind of the convoy leading in the front if you're Reynolds. I think that's just a misread in the zone read by him.
Third down and 13. That's the leading returning tackle for loss and sack guy on a defensive line from last season that was unaccounted for. Play action, Reynolds fires one up the seam, and he's got his true freshman tight end again for a big play. That's Taylor Thompson.
It's a beautiful throw. Should have been a flag because he brought Tucker in motion. Tucker never got set and then sent another motion right before the snap. It should have been two guys in motion. They get away with it, and then obviously executes the play with a great ball down the seam to Thompson.
That's the second big play Taylor Thompson has made.
It just feels like Charlotte at some point is going to go hard, play action, ball over the top here because they've been so run dominant on first downs.
Empty backfield, first and 10.
You love the numbers of quarterback run.
And there is quarterback run. Reynolds makes a man miss, picks up 7. How would a quarterback that I don't think ever really wanted to execute quarterback run have such a sure feeling the quarterback run was coming there?
Yeah, I ran a 6'2" 40 in high school as a sophomore, so you're correct on the initial statement. It's just knowing that they like to utilize him as a runner, and 2, you're just trying to get formations set up to get numbers in your advantage. And the empty backfield only left 6 guys in the box. They had 7. It's simple math, Bob.
I struggle sometimes. 2nd down and 3. There's more quarterback run. Very close to a first down for Chris Reynolds.
And then also, like, I'll be honest, Reynolds is good at it. That's 2 plays in a row where he has gained 3 more yards just off an initial move, both times on DeMarco Jackson, the linebacker for App State. So it's just, not only do you like it, I guess pre-snap schematically, but you also like it because the hands that the footballer is in with Chris Reynolds.
3rd down and 1, though. So this, a very important play. And this might be 4-down territory. We'll see inside the 40-yard line of App State. Aaron McAllister empties the backfield.
Quarterback run.
This time he'll throw it into traffic. And it's tipped and intercepted. Picked off and heading back the other way, Appalachian State. Brendan Harrington, the outside linebacker, gets the takeaway. And App State has the football back on a big momentum-changing play here in the 3rd quarter. The first career interception for Harrington.
Tipped balls lead to interceptions. See Reynolds peak. Great job by Huff of getting that pass break up, and then Harrington running to the football. Defenders always run to the ball. You never know what's going to happen. Pops up in the air, and then down that near sideline. Beautiful job. Celebrating on that sideline for App State. Didn't love the play call. 3rd and 1. If you want to take a shot. I didn't like the play call.
Very close to a first down on the run is Marcus Williams. Well, since 2015, San Diego State, they are the only team in FBS with more interceptions than Appalachian State. So the Mountaineers live, they feast off of those takeaways. And that was a big one there as Brendan Harrington, his first career pick. And right back to that very effective ground attack for App State as we've got about 6 minutes gone by here in the 3rd quarter.
I think this is one of those moments, too. We'll feel the lack of fans, or players would feel the lack of fans in the stadium the most, right? Momentum. Just got a big turnover, big run on first down. This is when, like, your home crowd would really start to get going, and you would feed off that. And so these are those moments almost when you got senior leadership. You got to manufacture some energy for your football team.
I think we could say this comfortably as broadcasters. We will never take for granted a stadium full of people.
Oh, no doubt,
again,
man. No doubt.
Because there is nothing like being at a football game. 3rd down and 7, 5 minutes to go, 4-point game. The crowd rises. That makes this sport. Right up the middle. Once again, it's Marcus Williams. Looks like he's got about 5.
Well, especially at a place like Boone. I mean, I've heard so many people tell me how awesome of a place this is to go.
I could speak from first-hand knowledge.
I've never done it, and so I've heard it's such a cool place to go watch a game, and unfortunately can't do it this year. But this would be one of those stretches you get a lot of kind of this is college football feel from the home crowd.
2nd down and 5. Misdirection in the backfield. Flags down. And an after the play right hand is thrown by Mike Evans, the tight end for Appalachian State. That draws a 2nd marker. Again, our referee is Chris Bynum, and he's got 2 penalties to adjudicate here.
False start. App State offensive line. 5-yard penalty. There is no other flag to play. Replay, 2nd down.
Well, that's not really the truth. There was another flag on the play. They decided to pick it up. But as soon as that right hand was thrown by Mike Evans, an official absolutely threw a flag in the air.
I don't know
what would lead you to pick that flag up if you're the crew?
Conversation, saying I saw it differently, and getting into a group and say I saw it differently. I don't know what's more surprising in that play, that they did pick up that flag, or you think that I know what
adjudicate means?
Well,
no chance.
You know, Boston College.
Still don't know. That's
I'm doing my best.
Comment. No clue what it means.
Quarterback run for Thomas. He's heading south instead of north. Breaks a tackle and runs a long way to pick up a couple. It'll be 3rd down and 8. And this, after the play was over, a little shot. You can see the official comes in, sees that, and throws a flag. And for some reason, and I'm sure it wasn't explained adequately to Will Healy, they picked the flag up.
My only thought is, was it a shove over a punch, and was it open hand or closed? I'm just throwing it out there.
You did that once in a while as a quarterback, just threw stuff out there.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
3rd down and 8. That's going to be well short of the 1st down, and now a decision to make for Appalachian State. Now you're in that gray area on a slippery, wet field. You going for it here? You're trying a long field goal.
No, I go for this. That's why I love that completion by Zach Thomas. I'm going for this. If I'm Sean Clark, I'm an ex-offensive lineman, 2-time All-American. I lost 1 football game as a program last year. I'm at home, coming off a turnover. Like, this is you're sending a message to your football team right here that we're the better team, and we're going to go prove it on this play.
And no team was better on 4th down last season than Appalachian State. 4th down and 3, they're going for it. Has a timeout been called?
Timeout. App State.
So they will take a timeout and talk things over. The main card at 8 Eastern on ESPN Plus. If you don't have ESPN Plus, head to ESPNplus.com or just download the ESPN app. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, Larisha Hill, Harris is. We are back here with 6:55 to go in the 3rd quarter. A 4-point lead for Appalachian State. Diamond formation in the backfield on 4th down and 3, and now before they can run a play, it will be a defensive timeout called by Charlotte from the sideline. Will Healy called that one, so it's a chess game before this 4th down and 3.
It's either this, Will Healy didn't like, maybe he thought he had 12 on the field, or didn't like the personnel that he had in comparison to what App State put out on the field, right? Understand this is a huge play in this football game, go a long way determining, momentum and feeling good about the back half of this 3rd quarter. Maybe you didn't.
This, to Larisha's point, is one of those moments where, he wants to see execution and tackling from his team. This seemed to be the key. He was talking about coming out at the end of the half, and they may have only had 10 players on the field. So there's an error of execution before a 4th down play, not having enough on the field.
That's a good timeout then.
And the head coach realized it. So now after the 49ers timeout, 4th down and 3. Same formation. Play action. Thomas floats one over the middle, and it's intercepted. Charlotte gets the stop on 4th down. Tyler Murray picked it off. He could have simply knocked it down if he wanted. Either way, the 49ers were going to get the football back, and they've got it. Terrific stop by the 49ers defense.
ESPN College Football, presented by Sling TV, is brought to you by USAA, proud supporter of the military community. What you're made of, we're made for.
Appalachian State, boy, they were a stable coaching situation for a long time. You had Jerry Moore and Scott Satterfield for the better part of 30-plus years. 1989 all the way through 2018, they didn't change their coach, but then Satterfield moves on. Eli Drinkwitz there for 1 year, but now they have an Appalachian State guy back in control. And that, of course, is Sean Clark, who was an offensive lineman for Jerry Moore back in the mid to late 90s. And his team right now holding on to a 4-point lead midway through the 3rd quarter. The pitch out. Trying to turn the corner. McAllister gets down the sideline. That's a big play all the way out to the 30-yard line.
Talk about blocking on the perimeter. Let's see these bigs. Watch the left side of the defensive line, slant to our right, then watch the right side of the offensive line, pull all the way around, little short motion. You catch that movement, it creates huge gaps. You get one-on-one blocks. That's so well done design-wise. And then you get an opportunity to go, okay, quarterback read, zone read, hold the guy off with your vision, wrap your tight ends back around, create that crease, and Harbison shot that gap beautifully after a little patience at the line of scrimmage. Some really cool design early in this first half, and then on that last play, blocking on the perimeter by the Charlotte offense. Well done so far, moving the ball on the ground.
Five-yard gain for Trey Harbison. Sean Jolly, the corner.
You mentioned some of the App State coaches. I mean, the greatest quarterback ever in App State is probably Daniel Jeremiah, right? I mean, good friend of mine.
Wide receiver screen. And that is very close to the first down, but the ball pops out. It's still loose. Right on the sideline. It is recovered by Trey Cobb, but was he out of bounds when he recovered the ball? Well, that was the immediate case that Will Healy was making. It may have been recovered by Trey Cobb, but was he out of bounds when he did it?
I actually think that he steps out with his left foot. I'm seeing this from Connecticut, so stepped out with his left foot on the way to go get the football.
This might be the best look we'll get. It certainly looks like the ball was ripped out before the player was down. So this is a fumble. Boy, did that toe touch on the sideline before he made the recovery. Very close. And they still have not, I think, made an official ruling. I think now we'll get the official ruling.
The ruling on the field, the ball was recovered by the defense that was out of bounds. There's a forward fumble. The ball will be placed back at the spot of the fumble. The 40-yard line, it will remain Charlotte's ball. The previous play is under review.
Well, they saw, at least the call they've made on the field, Dan, what you saw, which is player out of bounds as he recovered, but replay is going to make sure. And we will be back with a very important replay review in this game. Welcome back to The Rock. Bob Wischusen alongside Dan Orlovsky. And a very important call about to be made by the replay booth. Ruled on the field that it was a fumble that was recovered out of bounds by Trey Cobb. And based on the replays that we have seen, there's no way that they can overturn the call on the field. If anything, it will probably be confirmed.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I think that you said it best. You're going to confirm the call because it looks like his left toe, Cobb's left toe and left elbow are out of bounds before he ever gains full possession. Watch the left toe. It kind of looks out of bounds there. Certainly can't tell me it's in bounds or not touching the white. As we zoom, look, that's great angle.
The play stands. The forward fumble out of bounds. It was touched by the defense, causing the ball to be out of bounds. Ball will go back to the spot of the fumble, will be the 40. The clock will start on my ready for play.
You needed to see green in between the left foot of Trey Cobb and the sideline to overturn the call you've made on the field. And then it's really even hard to say that he had control of the football before the elbow landed on the sideline. So certainly no way that replay could change the call on the field.
Huge break for Charlotte.
Very big break. And a first down, 1st and 10 with 5:23 to go in the third quarter. Chris Reynolds out of the pocket. Sidearms one to the sideline and trying to come back and close some ground was Elder, but it was knocked away by Shamar Jean-Charles.
That's an awesome job by Jean-Charles. I mean, in that moment, as a DB, you're running to the football, and to not make contact on Elder, but just to bat that ball away with our right hand is well done. I was mentioning some of the App State alum that I know. I mentioned the greatest quarterback in program history, Daniel Jeremiah. At least he tells me he's the best quarterback in school history. I would say our Monty Edwards, right? But That's Daniel's words, not mine.
I've had conversations with you about the greatest quarterback in UConn history.
Yeah.
You seem to have a pretty clear opinion of that one. 2nd down and 10. Again, play action for Reynolds. This time the slant high. And maybe a little bit of alligator arms there from Rico Arnold. So it will be 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, in practice, if we saw that, we would call those the thank you for calling Boone Generals, because that's you're going into the vehicle with lights. That's actually Butler's right there. Tucker. Victor Tucker's right there. He is settling down. He knows the safety's coming. I'm not going to run to that safety. You want to have Reynolds see the same thing and just hold him up with that throw. Throw it right on my back shoulder and protect me from that safety, yet still get the completion.
Charlotte made 2 of their first 4 on 3rd down. They are 1 for their last 5. There's the slant, tipped up in the air, and it falls incomplete. So App State gets the stop again on 3rd down, although DeMarco Jackson had a chance on the carom at an interception. Excellent coverage by Caden Smith.
Good job by the App State defense of getting off the field. Charlotte a little bit fortunate not having that turnover and still having the chance to punt the football away.
Thomas Hennigan had a 59-yard punt return for a touchdown 2 years ago against Charlotte. And this time the punter is contacted. Connor Bowler went down. Here's Hennigan on the hop. Steps out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. We're going to have to check the penalty marker, though, as Connor Bowler, the punter for Charlotte, was hit.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Return team number 28. The 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. 1st down.
That's like a turnover. That's a free possession now for Charlotte when App State was about to get the ball back.
And if Charlotte right now, as a coaching staff, I'm ultra aggressive with my play calling. I got out of jail free card with the turnover potentially and the fumble, and now you just gave me another possession. This is where I'm ultra aggressive as a play caller to try to flip it into points fast.
And remember, the only touchdown drive that Charlotte has had in this game came and was kept alive by virtue of a 4th down penalty.
Correct.
On the Appalachian State defense. So this is the 2nd time in the game that App State has committed a penalty on 4th down to give Charlotte an extension of a drive that would have ended.
Yeah, so you only get so many chances, right? Like, your teams are giving you chances. You got to take advantage of it if you're Charlotte. And then if you're App State, refocus, re-get your minds right defensively that you're back on the field.
Cam Dollar in motion. Let's see if they go up top. More conservative, and they're going to lose at least a couple of yards on the run by Trey Harbison. Let's check in with Kevin Connors.
Bob, interesting day in the Big 12. Look at what just happened in Ames. Iowa State up 14-10 on Louisiana when the Ragin' Cajuns spice it up. Levi Lewis to Peter LeBlanc, 78 yards. Last time Louisiana beat a ranked team, 1996, Jake Delhomme was throwing it to Brandon Stokely. 17-14, Cajuns in front. Meantime, another Big 12 team struggling. K-State tied with Arkansas State. Blake Anderson's Red Wolves hanging tough, Bob.
Well, we saw Arkansas State last week against Memphis. Not a bad football team.
No, they played them well.
LeBlanc sounds like a Ragin' Cajun. Should be scored a touchdown there, right? There's a slant. That's good for a 1st down. On 2nd down and 12, Vic Tucker ends up walling off the coverage, and Charlotte moves the chains.
The only Matthew I know, or the only LeBlanc I know, is Matthew from Friends. Never saw the episode, though.
That's a quick hitch out to the edge. And that will go for about 3. Caden Smith was quick to close the ground on Victor Tucker.
Okay, I talked about being aggressive if you're Charlotte right now. Multitudes of ways you can do that. You see a little tempo getting picked up here. Like, they're getting to the line of scrimmage and playing with a little bit more pace than they were early on in this football game leading up to this point.
Incomplete. That pass had no chance to get through to Ryan Carrier.
If I'm Charlotte, there's a very clear thing that I could do offensively. I'm going to put a tight end or a back out there, and I'm going to go double move on one of these corners. That's the third time we've seen that matchup in those corners, squat on those guys. And I'm going to tell the receiver, little 6 yards, kind of stomp your feet like you're going to hook up and go, and just trust the quarterback to get it there. 3rd and 7. Last time on 3rd down, they tried to work that seam of the defense. I really think Reynolds has got to find a seam in this defense behind that second level to drill it in.
11th play of the drive. That ball's tipped and incomplete. Cameron Dollar, the intended receiver. So now it's 4th down and 7. Again, on the Appalachian State 32-yard line.
Really running RPO, trying to get some yards. Pretty good finish by Sperlin there. Could have easily been flagged.
From here, you're looking close to a 50-yard field goal. Hard to punt from the 32-yard line as well. So, Charlotte, what do you think, Dan, about this decision?
Yeah.
Going forward on 4th and 7. No, they're actually going to send the field goal unit out. So this will be Jonathan Cruz from long distance. His career long 56 on a wet field. And this one he's got. He would have had that from 65. That went through easily for Jonathan Cruz from long range.
Confidence in your kicker. That's huge. For Charlotte and for your confidence on the sideline, to have that series of events and to get something out of it, to get those 3 points out of it, is huge for the mojo of your football team.
So it's a 1-point game with 3:15 to go in the 3rd quarter. Now, we've been talking about this throughout the game.
Yeah.
This has an NFL type of feel to it, doesn't it? It's been field position. It has been run the football. It's been clock management. It's somewhat low scoring.
Not a ton of possessions.
And not anywhere near the crazy pinball score these two teams had last year. It's been a very interesting game management chess match between these two coaches.
Yeah, I mean, both teams wanted to run the football probably more explosively than they have. We've got to understand the unique aspect of the offseason and how efficient and how on top of all the details they are. I'm interested to see what the mindset of this App State offense is right now coming out of this possession.
Well, Jonathan Cruz has some kind of leg. There's another touchback as we go back to Kevin.
North Carolina is just shutting down the Syracuse offense, and the Heels are starting to pull away. Javonte Williams, a 1-yard TD plunge after all the motioning is done. It's masking 2 interceptions from Sam Howell. Cuse has just 151 yards of total offense, 17-6 over on the ACC network. Meantime, a slow start last season for Trevor Lawrence. How will he come out of the gates tonight? The nation's #1, Clemson at Wake, 7:30 Eastern, ABC.
Normally for Trevor Lawrence, it's been a soft landing spot against Wake Forest. We'll see what happens tonight. We'll see now if Appalachian State can get their offense in gear as they have sputtered their last 3 drives. Here's Peoples, close to the 30-yard line, picks up 5 on 1st down. Zaya Soto made the stop for Charlotte. App State playing with some tempo. Peoples again. Breaking a tackle, gets the 1st down.
I feel like every time they have decided to give the ball to Cam Peoples, good things have happened. You know, he's run the football well. He's run it physically. Got to be somebody to get the ball to him more in this drive.
There he goes again, using a stiff arm. Cut down at the 41. 5 more for Cameron Peoples. Again, he tore his ACL in the opening game last season. And then Daytrick Harrington ended up with a torn ACL about midway through the season. So both of those running backs returning this year. Good news for App State. Here's Peoples again. Into the secondary. He's got another 1st down.
Right now, this is just that zone scheme that I talked about in the first half. They're just zoning off the front side of the defense. And Peoples is really watching number 60, the center. Just watch the center. He's going to take his cut off at 60.
Long throw. And wide open is Hennigan as a player slipped in the secondary for Charlotte. And Hennigan burns them for the touchdown.
Great adjustment by Hennigan coming back for that football.
Still a one-possession game, but now it's Appalachian State by 8 with 1:51 to go in the third. Well, Dan, you get a slip in the secondary, and Hennigan takes advantage.
Yeah, it seems like the corner's just trying to midpoint between Hennigan and the outside receiver, and he sees the ball thrown, he slips, and it just, again, a good job by Hennigan of coming back for the football.
Lance McMillan lost his footing, and this made Hennigan look probably about 10 times as open as he would have looked, and it's an easy touchdown.
So in some coverages, you have corners that they midpoint. They play in between both the seam and the go route. They try to play on top of them, and so they can play both routes at the same time. And once that ball gets thrown, you try to anticipate which one it's going to. McMillan obviously thinks that ball is going to Hennigan, just slips on the field.
Aren't programs supposed to struggle when they go from FCS to FBS? I mean, this Appalachian State team, all they did was transfer from FCS to FBS and keep on winning. 4 consecutive Sun Belt titles, 5 straight bowl wins, 13-1 last season. All they do is win.
Should make that a song.
McAllister on the return. Bounces it outside. Breaks a tackle. He might go the distance. Touchdown. Aaron McAllister to the house. And just like that, it's a 2-point game. What an answer for Charlotte.
Won't go down, McAllister. Great contact balance. Watch the side of your screen. Look at the head coach running with them. Beautiful finish. You see the sidelines electric. Talk about picking up your football team right there. Beautiful job by McAllister of maintaining his balance. Will Healy's winded from running that kickoff with him.
97 yards.
On
the kickoff return. Yeah, I think the coach ran about 80 of the 97 yards.
You see
with
hands
his
on the knees. Yeah, look at that breathing. I'd be right there with him if I had to do that.
Apparently the replay booth may be taking another look to make sure that McAllister stayed in bounds. Will they want another look? No reason. He clearly stays in bounds. Now, Will Healy this past offseason hired Charles Bankins to come in as his special teams coach, because last season, to say Charlotte was poor on special teams would be kind. They were last in Conference USA in net punting, last in punt return defense, number 113 in kickoff return average. They were a terrible special teams team.
Yeah.
And today on special teams,
big play.
They are flipping the game around as we check in with Kevin.
Bob, speaking of special teams, we showed you Louisiana going up on Iowa State 17-14. The Cyclones' next drive ended with a punt, and that punt ended with this. An 83-yard return for a touchdown. Eric Garrer rhymes with horror if you're a Cyclones fan. Louisiana 1-32 all-time against AP-ranked teams, but they are leading the number 23 team in the country 24-14 right now over on ESPN.
I think that's the second kick return for a touchdown in that game as well for the Ragin' Cajuns, and that's the first kick return for a touchdown for Charlotte since September of 2015. So good things happen when you pay close attention to special teams, and certainly seems like the hiring of Charles Bankins for Charlotte has paid dividends today.
Huge. I mean, the blocked kick The kick return, that's a 10-point swing. Potentially right there at the minimum 7 on the return.
And the largest kickoff return in history for Charlotte. And this will go through the back of the end zone. Again, let's check in with Kevin.
All right, Bob, check this out. What a scene in South Bend, Indiana. That's a pretty nice crowd there at Notre Dame Stadium. The Fighting Irish hosting the Duke Blue Devils. First time in the 133-year history of Notre Dame football, the Irish are playing a conference game. They're, of course, part of the ACC now due to all the COVID things going on. Chase Bryce, the former Clemson quarterback, starting for Duke. Blue Devils and Fighting Irish underway.
All right, Kevin, thanks very much. Alongside Dan Orlovsky, Larisha Harris with us as well. I'm Bob Wischusen. We've got a 1-point game now. Now, Charlotte, maybe a little too early to go for 2 there. They could have gone for 2 to try and tie the game. They didn't chase the point, though. They made it a 1-point game. And it's back to the ground attack and Dietrich Harrington.
I want to talk about Zach Thomas for a second. When I was speaking with him via the phone, he told me, you know, when he first started off as a quarterback, he felt like he was doing too much. He put himself under a lot of stress. Now that he has grown, he says he's doing a better job at reading the defense and getting the ball to the playmakers. He realizes the weapons that he has around him, which is a strong receiving and strong running back core. And Dan, as a person who's watching it, is that something that you see he's doing?
He's doing a much better job, Larisha, here in these last couple of drives of getting the ball in his hands, trusting those guys to make some plays. You saw it on the touchdown throw to Hennigan, right? Like some guys you just, I'm going to give him an opportunity, and you believe that the worst case scenario is ball is going to hit the ground. You trust those guys so much. So he seems more comfortable in this last drive or two. I felt early on that ball was just coming out of his hand. Weird, but certainly more comfortable in his past couple throws.
No gain on first down for Harrington. It'll be 2nd down and 10 after the Henry Pearson catch and run picked up a first down for App State. We'll see that might be the final play of the 3rd quarter, unless the Mountaineers choose to snap it again or take us to the 4th quarter.
I've been really impressed with the secondary of Charlotte. Their willingness to tackle, their willingness to be a part of the run support game is such a big deal, and it's hard to get corners to commit to that. I've been impressed with McMillan and Lyon.
Play action. Thomas, fluttering ball, but it falls in. And he's got a first down hookup to end the 3rd quarter. And there's Thomas Hennigan making another big catch for Appalachian State. It's a good one at the Rock, a 1-point game as we head to the 4th.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter.
Start the 4th quarter. Appalachian State on top of Charlotte by 1. The rain continues to fall here in Boone. And it's a closer game than most would have expected, as Charlotte is hanging in there with Appalachian State. The Mountaineers, though, on the move to start off the 4th quarter, 1st and 10 at the plus 45-yard line. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, and Larisha Harris. Zach Thomas, another pitch and catch with Hennigan. Stiff arm. He's got the first down. Hennigan has been the go-to target today for Zach Thomas.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, if I'm Tony Peterson, the offensive coordinator for App State, I'm going to go Ryan Hennigan and Zach Thomas right now. There's no one on Charlotte's defense that can handle Hennigan. So the ball is going to get fed to him in the pass game often in this 4th quarter.
Quarterback keeper. And that run pass option turns into a quarterback run for Zach Thomas for a yard. How about the day Thomas Hennigan has had?
He's been huge. Whether it's been some balls down the field, some curl routes, you see that suddenness at the top, really good route running. This was huge again, a curl route. Put your foot in the ground, come back to the quarterback, those possession routes. And then again, this is the huge touchdown. The awareness to come back to the football, hands catch, I love that. Make somebody miss. I just don't think anyone Charlotte has right now that they can go one-on-one. So if I'm Hennigan and I'm Zach Tom, if it's in one-on-one, the ball is going to 5.
Dietrich Harrington stopped in the backfield. He lost a couple. 3rd down and 11. As Tyler Murray came through to help on the stop for Charlotte.
What I'd like to see out of App State here is you got driving rainstorm. So I'm going to put Hennigan and Malik Williams, number 14. I'd like to see those guys on the same side. I love the fact that they've got them inside right now. At the top of our screen, they've got these guys bunched together. Pay attention to a route concept between them as Andrews comes in motion, Malik Williams in motion. Find the one-on-one there.
4-man rush. Thomas under some pressure. Now out of the pocket, he might run. Inside the 30. Tripped up right at the 1st down line to gain, and he has the 1st down.
Enormous conversion by Zach Thomas. He went through 3 parts of his progression. He actually went Malik Williams, Thomas Hennigan, check down to the back. It's not there. Great job in the pocket of keeping 2 hands on the football, shrugging off that rusher, and going to get that 1st down.
Oh, getting popped at about the 15-yard line was Harrington. And then an extra little shove after the play was over. Nafees Lyon, he made the initial stop and then has to be restrained by one of his teammates.
Good zone block here. Runs in the Lions. Oh, I like that by Hennigan. I like that by Hennigan. I like that by
your guy?
Yeah, man. You're not going to stand over my guy and try to intimidate him.
Timeout called by Charlotte. We'll step aside for just a moment. Welcome back to college football on ESPN, presented by Sling TV. After a Charlotte timeout, 2.5 minutes gone by here in the 4th quarter. The 49ers trying to get a stop against what is starting to look like an offense that can steamroll you. As App State, they've got the 1-point lead. They are 2 for 5 in the red zone today. A couple of touchdowns, a couple of turnovers, and a blocked field goal. So this is their 6th trip into the red zone. It's only produced 14 points. Straight ahead run, and only about 1.5 yards. It'll bring up 3rd down as Harrington again got stopped.
I like the fact that App State has both tight ends on the field and they're kind of winging them. They really want to run behind 88 Pearson. He's the guy to follow. The football, more often than not, follows 88.
Harrington goes away from the block of Henry Pearson, breaks a tackle and dives for a 1st down.
Really good contact balance by Harrington because there's a seam right behind the tight end, the tackle, that if he just hugged it, easy 1st down. He decided to cut, that's fine. You make that decision, it's on you. Good contact balance getting that 1st down. I still think App State run the football. No need to get cute here. Continue to pound the football here.
Turning the corner. At the 5-yard line is Harrington looking for the pylon. Did he get in? They will say he stepped out at about the 3.
It's a good block by Evans. Look at him at the bottom of the screen, number 18, the tight end, right off the hip, tackle's hip. Come up, square up, and then secure that edge. He got the outside shoulder of that defender, and that's what allowed Harrington to get that perimeter.
2nd down and 2 from the 3. Again, it's Harrington. Runs into his own man and loses a yard. Well, here is a very big play coming up. Appalachian State with a 1-point lead. Coming up on 5 minutes gone by in the 4th quarter. And it is now 3rd down and a long 2, close to 3 from the 4-yard line. They can get a 1st down inside the 1.
Yeah, I'm in 4-down territory. If I'm App State, I'm going for this. This is not a field goal attempt unless I lose like 5 yards or something. And I just want to see us zone. Bottom of our screen, I've got double tight ends, 85 and 18. I want to zone up to the linebackers. Let's go zone motion run game.
Harrington right up the middle into the end zone for the touchdown. So now 3 different Appalachian State Mountaineers have rushing touchdowns today. All 3 tailbacks, 1 apiece. Harrington, Peoples, and Marcus Williams have all found the end zone. A 14-play touchdown drive. And the lead pushed back to 8.
Beautiful job by this run game. You see it zone up. Watch the left side, 85 and 18. Evans and Crosby seal it off. Harrington with the finish. App State, big drives. Takes the lead by 8.
ESPN College Football is presented by Sling TV, the smart choice for live TV, and in part by Wingstop. Order delivery now at wingstop.com, where flavor gets its wings.
Oh, Robert Russell, one of the guys kind enough to send us this video, watching the game with his son, all the way up in Fort Wainwright, Alaska, on our Army base up there, serving our country. So many of those little watch parties you saw. Football in the era of coronavirus. Here at The Rock, normally this place would be a capacity crowd, one of the best college football atmospheres in the country, but so many that would normally be here in Boone watching their Appalachian State Mountaineers, Dan, they're forced to watch under a tent in their driveway or gather a group in the rec room because only 50 folks allowed at outdoor gatherings right now in the state of North Carolina.
First of all, thank you for your service. Second of all, you make it is what it is.
That is not an onside kick. That is a loose ball. Did Charlotte get it back? It looked like the kicker slipped. And as a result, a squib kick rolled forward. And Appalachian State thinks they may have recovered the loose ball. For App State, Caleb Dawson also shaken up on the play. We've got a couple of injured players on what was a freak play on a wet field. But a freak play when the kicker slips and all of a sudden it looks like an onside kick. Appalachian State with an 8-point lead almost got the football back on this freak play. This has been ruled a Charlotte recovery at the bottom of this pile.
Man, that is a scary looking pile. Thank God. Braithwaite is walking off.
So Ryan Braithwaite, who ended up with the football in his arms, and the whole pile collapsed back, and you could see his left leg and knee got caught under the weight of that pile. And he is going to head into the medical tent on the Charlotte sideline. But he held onto the football and got it back for his teammates. Down by 8. And off to Trey Harbison. Nothing doing up the middle. Let's go to Kevin.
Hey, Bob, North Carolina's lead on Syracuse was 7-6 midway through the third, but they've scored 24 unanswered. The last 3 TDs courtesy of Javonte Williams. 31-6. Meantime, tense times in Manhattan, Kansas. Arkansas State, Logan Bonner to Jonathan Adams. Second time they've hooked up. K-State just tied it 28-28.
Oh, some good football games all over this second weekend of college football. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, Marisha Harris bringing you Charlotte and App State. The 49ers down by 8. Second down and 9. And there's some running room for Harbison. Couldn't bounce it outside, though. And he ended up being brought down by DeMarco Jackson. So now it will be 3rd down and 6.
Harbison knew he had a big run. He knew he had a big run, but it was a great job by Sean Jolly, the corner, of just going low on that tackle, creating a pile that forced Harbison to jump over and allowed Jackson to chase him down.
And number 3 at the bottom of your screen in black and gold, Sean Jolly.
I think this would be an outstanding opportunity for a double move, meaning a stutter and go, a slant and go something. I've talked about it. Those corners for App State are very nosy. They're aggressive. They've seen the ball thrown in front of them a bunch today.
Play clock down to 5. Mountaineers showing blitz. They'll rush 4. Out of the pocket, Chris Reynolds buys some time, unloads one deep. One-on-one down inside the 15-yard line, and there's the flag drawn by Victor Tucker. And that's a mismatch. That's a linebacker, DeMarco Jackson, downfield, trying to cover a wide receiver. That's a tough assignment to put on one of your inside linebackers.
It's a really smart play by Reynolds, right? I mean, just you understand that you see the jersey tug right there by DeMarco Jackson, but just really smart by the quarterback, knowing, all right, linebacker on my best receiver, he should be able to go out-jump him or out-win him and out-track the football. And that linebacker's not used to playing a ball in the air 50 yards downfield, so really smart and a good job by Tucker fighting for the ball.
And of course, in college, unlike the NFL, it's only a 15-yard penalty, rather than there what would have been a 40, maybe a 45-yard penalty in pro football. Jolly shows blitz off the edge. Here he comes. A little option pitch, and that play disintegrated from the start as Aaron McAllister goes down behind the line, brought down by Brendan Harrington.
That's why, so you saw Jolly, the corner, from the bottom of the screen come on the pressure. When you're running the ball against pressure, you want something that's going to attack the line of scrimmage. Just because those slanters, if you shut one of them off, meaning you block one of them, creates a big gap. You don't want the ball going more horizontal. All those guys slanting and coming from the side of that pressure are just going to be running to where you're running the football.
Reynolds off a play fake, and down he goes. Ends up underneath Caleb Sperlin. That's a loss of 6 more.
See the play fake? Reynolds pulls the ball like he's looking for someone to throw it to, and Sperlin beats the block. There is certainly a miscommunication between Reynolds and Tucker right there. Tucker was to his left. Reynolds looks to his right. Miscommunication in that play design by the Charlotte offense.
So now it's 3rd down and 20 past the midway point of the 4th quarter.
I still think this is the opportunity. Victor Tucker's got to be option number 1 here. Can you move him around?
Only a 3-man rush. Over the middle on 3rd and 20, almost a 3rd down conversion. But Shamar Jean-Charles says no. He knocks it away, and now it's 4th and 20 near midfield.
Second time we've seen this. This is Rico Arnold. Beautiful route. Ball's there. Watch the left hand. Pop! I mean, that is so well done by Jean-Charles. That's the second time that he has been the guy at the point of contact at the play, and without colliding with that receiver, get one of those hands in to deflect the ball. That is picture perfect done cornerback-wise.
6:41 to go. And now Connor Boulder's going to try and pin Appalachian State deep. And Charlotte's going to need their defense to go make a stop. Fair catch is called for and made by Hannigan. Appalachian State by 8.
Zach Thomas, first of all, just play design. A little bit of a freeze defenders with the ball fake. You get those guys to sink down inside, get the tight end to replace them going on the outside. Easy completion for the quarterback. This was outstanding. 1, 2, 3 through my progression. Stay competitive. Fight, fight, fight. And a huge scramble on 3rd and long for a 1st down. And then the throw to Hennigan. See the corner overlap. Make sure you get that ball up outside. Beautiful job by Hennigan. Down the field. Wind him up. Zach Thomas has looked like Zach Thomas these last couple drives. 6:33 left in this game. This App State team will rely on him to try and finish this one off.
And the question is, can Charlotte get a stop? They've got field position on their side. A fumble! Losing the football was Here's Cam. Peoples, he coughs it up, and a takeaway for Charlotte. Tyler Murray, he made the big play. Nafees Lyon emerges with the football as Cameron Peoples coughs it up deep in Appalachian State territory.
Watch Murray right here, right over the top. That right arm jumps on top, strength to pull it away, just slips out. Wet ball, rainy all day. Murray has had tremendous impact. We saw with the interception on 4th down, now the forced fumble, huge turnover late in this 4th quarter.
Tyler Murray sat out last season, transferred from Troy. Sean Dawkins, the running backs coach from Charlotte, was at the time going from the Troy coaching staff to the Charlotte coaching staff, and he vouched for Tyler Murray. Said, this is the kind of kid we want on our team. Well, they're happy to have him on the field this year. A red zone possession down by 8 for the 49ers with 6.5 to go. Reynolds off play action, scrambling. Heaves one, incomplete. Could not find Michaelius Elder as he was under heavy pressure from DeMarco Jackson.
App State dialing up some pressure here. If I'm Charlotte, I want something where my quarterback is not sitting in the pocket. He hasn't been comfortable there all day. The ball is soaking wet. He's an athlete. I want to get him on the edge. Give him a run-pass option on the edge where his athleticism could be like the #1 thing, the instincts, rather than trying to get through a full progression in our offense.
Trey Harbison caught behind the line, barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Trey Cobb was there to grab him around the ankles. No gain, 3rd down and 10.
It's impressive by the App State defense. That sudden change, that quick change where you think your team is going to have the ball, all of a sudden turnover. Let's get back out on the field, and you could see it by Cobb and DeMarco Jackson, that leadership right now, and especially on their sidelines. Got to be really good if you're with the football here with Chris Reynolds. I still think down the middle of the field, work the seams in between the safeties is where there's an option.
Well, there might not be a crowd today here at the Rock, but that sideline making all kinds of noise for the Mountaineers. 3rd down and 10. Quarterback run. Reynolds, 4th down and 10. I have to think you're making that play call knowing before you even snap the ball there, you're going for it on 4th down. And now a timeout will be called from the sideline by Will Healy. And is that the final timeout for Charlotte? It's an 8-point game. .13 to go. They are down by 8. And perhaps the most nervous guy in the building still is Cam Peoples. His fumble gave Charlotte this opportunity at the 20-yard line of Appalachian State with 5:13 to go. The 49ers are out of timeouts, compelled to go for it here, down by 8. Reynolds in the shotgun. Only a 3-man rush, really a 2-man rush. And still the pocket collapses. It's a jump ball in the end zone. Tipped, and on the carom, almost caught by Aaron McAllister. And Appalachian State gets the stop on downs with 5:03 to go.
Great rush. Great rush by the App State defense. Outstanding possession by the whole football team. They tried to get Tucker in a little bit of an advantage, a double post. Good job in coverage by App State secondary. Tucker, you could see, leaking to that corner, but Reynolds had no chance to get him the ball, almost to carry him.
And what a job by George Blackstock. Some of the App State fans love what they're seeing right now. The nose guard for the Mountaineers on a 2-man rush. Got through, put pressure on the quarterback, and takes the heat off Cam Peoples. As Chris Reynolds is now over on the sideline, hoping for one more opportunity. And his defense Gets a tackle for no gain right at the line to start off this set of downs. They desperately need a 3 and out. Trevor Lawrence and number 1 Clemson, along with Travis Etienne, on the road to take on Wake Forest, 7:30 Eastern on ABC and the ESPN app.
It'd be really interesting if you're App State right here, because you're anticipating Charlotte is selling out, completely committed to the run. I would love to see one of those play fakes where they shoot someone out into the flat real quick, a tight end crossing, Hennigan crossing, something where it's a pass, but it's a very controlled pass.
Bouncing it outside, Williams. He's got the first down. And he is going to try, I'm sure, to stay inbounds. And does. All the way to the 46-yard line of Charlotte. It was almost as if the Charlotte defenders thought he was going to run out of bounds and quit on the play. But he stayed inbounds and ended up picking up another 10 or 15 yards.
Really smart. Hennigan on that lead right there. Great jump cut by Williams. And just watch right here at the patience. Okay, am I good? I got more yardage. Stay in bounds. Really smart. Now, if I'm his coach, I'm probably telling him, hey, next time, just get down. You know, just get down. We don't need that extra 15. Just get down, because the last thing we want is someone punching from behind.
Marcus Williams. He might have pulled a hamstring. He goes down at the 24-yard line. He came up lame about halfway through that run. It almost looked like he was headed towards the end zone. Hopefully that's just a cramp that got Marcus Williams. But he grabbed his hamstring right towards the tail end of this play.
The reality is these guys probably haven't played football for 3.5 hours, you know, in 9 months, 10 months.
Back to Harrington to the 20-yard line.
I just want to pinpoint the energy that is coming from Appalachian State sideline. We also see the fans that are here present. They are showing their energy. There's a bell that's being heard. But the guys, they are just so energetic. They're into it. When the defense was actually on the field, they were yelling out "Jack Boys." When I find out what that means, I'll let you guys know. But they are just really encouraging everyone to stay focused, to be in the moment and stay present. I've heard a couple of players say, stay present, and that's what they're doing.
They're 6 yards away from victory formation. Harrington. Does he have the first down? If he does, this will be a kneel down for Appalachian State. And it looks like he's short by about a yard. 2 running backs today. Over 100 yards for the Mountaineers.
Big time run game. Their new head coach, Sean Clark, is going to like that. You know, this is what they want to do. I asked them, you know, coming over from Missouri last year, like, you're going to do some stuff differently? Sean Clark was at Louisville, their offensive coordinator, Tony Peterson, from Missouri. He said, you're going to do anything different? He said, no, we built this program because we wanted to run the football. We are not going to change who we have been or who we're going to be.
Patrick Harrington, first down and more. He'll go to the end zone. Icing on the cake for the Mountaineers. That's a Harrington touchdown. (35-20). Appalachian State on top. And Dan, that run by Datrick Harrington as a team put them well over 300 yards rushing on the afternoon.
That's the identity of them. This is a great run by Harrington. Look at the push. That right side of the offensive line really became dominant in that drive, blocking downfield by the receivers. And then the crazy finish. The 7 people that are in the stadium cannot contain themselves with energy.
Need a little more juice out of those folks. That was an impressive, I don't know, 6-7 minute stretch by the football team for App State, in my opinion. You get that sudden change. That could be really difficult to handle. You got to be really mature. Their defense steps on the field. No big deal, coach. We got it. They obviously go 4 and out with great effort. And then the offense takes over, 4 minutes to go, or we're just going to run the clock out. And they decided, no, we're going to finish the football game the way we want to finish the football game. And that's a really good 6-7 minute stretch for the young head coach, Sean Clark, and this football team headed into the rest of this season.
Riker Casey this time will intentionally squib it. The last time he lost his footing, and it was an inadvertent squib. And so down by 2 touchdowns. Charlotte out of timeouts with 1:09 to go will take over at about their own 35-yard line. Let's head to Kevin.
And Bob, we are counting you down to kickoff in San Marco, Texas. The Roadrunners of UTSA set to take on the Bobcats of Texas State. That game will kick off in about 11 minutes here on ESPN2. Meantime, the stunner today in Ames, Louisiana, 0-31 on the road against ranked teams until today. They crush Iowa State 31-14. K-State trying to hang on against Arkansas State, and North Carolina pulls away late to beat Syracuse. Bob?
Boy, for Brock Purdy, I mean, you're thinking you're a dark horse Heisman candidate.
Oh, no doubt.
And that's how you start your season, a home blowout loss to the Ragin' Cajuns. That's a tough pill to swallow up there in Ames. Well, Chris Reynolds with 1 minute to go. We'll throw that one away.
Listen, if you're Charlotte, this field, we've seen slips up and down this afternoon. Obviously a vastly different performance for the young quarterback last year compared to today. Give a lot of credit for the way App State played defense. The weather certainly played its part. But there's a minute left on this clock, and we have seen guys slip in one play a minimal play become a big play. The big thing, don't waste time, don't run around, and if there's a chance for a one-on-one ball downfield, you got to give your guy a shot.
That one sails out of bounds. Up over the head of Dick Tucker, so it will be 3rd down and 10. Appalachian State made some mistakes today, certainly. Yeah. I mean, this is going to be game film where Sean Clark's going to have plenty of teaching points. 3 turnovers. As you said, reacted well to sudden change. It's almost like 5 turnovers because they roughed the punter and committed an offsides penalty on a 4th down, where twice they gave Charlotte back the football.
Yeah, that's a good point.
In spots where it wouldn't go down as a turnover in the box score, but almost had the same effect on the game. You turn the ball over 5 times and still win by a couple of touchdowns. There's certainly a lot to build on, but plenty to talk about with your team as well, as there is a check down to Harbison, and he will step out of bounds at the 47-yard line of the Mountaineers.
And I think there's a reality too. This season is just get to the next week, you know, like win or lose, for the safety of the kids, get to the next week. And then when it does come down to winning or losing the football game, this year it's not about how pretty it is or how hard it is. Like, if you find a way to win a game with who's going to play and what you have to deal with, that is, every week is going to be so hard this year in college football. I don't care who you are.
Long throw to the sideline, broken up. Again, Shamar Jean-Charles is there to get a pass defense. And if you're Charlotte, to have any last gasp attempt at this game, this next one almost needs to go in the end zone. You're down to 41 seconds to go. You have to have enough time to score, recover an onside kick, and score again. So anything here in the field of play or short of the end zone, you're almost now out of time.
Yeah, I'd love to see that very similar set or kind of movement by the quarterback. App State's playing a 2-man, so cover 2, safeties deep, man underneath. You really want kind of like a post corner, someone going to the pylons of the end zone, and almost turns into a jump ball for the quarterback.
Well, they take a seam shot, and it's an interception. And now it will be victory formation for the Mountaineers as Caden Smith gets the pick of Chris Reynolds. Appalachian State 13-1 last season, and they will open this season with a win as well.
Try to push the ball down seam. Reynolds, good job by Caden Smith, just playing high. You're deeper than anybody on the field. Ball gets thrown right to you. Reynolds got to be aggressive there, and it just wasn't their day for Charlotte in the second half.
So Zach Thomas takes a knee, and that will do it. Appalachian State starts their season with a win. And again, Dan, this is a game that only came together between these two schools a month ago. As with COVID cancellations, there were a lot of games that teams that are still playing at this point lost off their schedule. And these are two teams that in the not too distant future are going to play a regular rivalry game. And they're separated by a short drive, so why not? I think the fans at Charlotte consider Appalachian State certainly a real budding rivalry between the two schools. And you can see the gap between the two programs closing, but Appalachian State outdistanced them with talent in the second half today.
Appalachian State's a better team and program right now, but I promise you, Charlotte has their respect, has their attention, and has their respect as they should. App's got a good football team, really good quarterback. Congratulations to their head coach on his first win.
For Dan Orlovsky and Larisha Harris, I'm Bob Wischusen. 35-20. Appalachian State over Charlotte. Next on ESPN2. Time to head to San Marcos, Texas. Texas State